to try to figure out the source of the pain and a solution and how to solve it. He listens. I'm going to cry because it's so real. I've been through so much, and he wants to help his patients, and he's there for me whenever I need him.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. I have a simple message for you. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. MyPainChicago.com, MyPainChicago.com. All the info is available at MyPainChicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
AM 560, The Answer.
The Wall Street Journal says in hospitals all over America, doctors and medical staffers are convinced that full moons are harbingers of chaos. They say a full moon night, especially right before Halloween like we have now, triggers a flood of unusual admissions. Octavia Cannon, an OBGYN in Charlotte, hasn't forgotten the full moon night she delivered a call baby, still in its protective membrane after a vaginal delivery. Mary LeBlond, an emergency room nurse at Methodist Hospital in San Antonio, recalls a full moon night when several school buses raced up to the front of the hospital, full of students who had all gotten food poisoning at dinner and were throwing up everywhere. Belief in the full moon effect is so ingrained that some hospitals bulk up on staff and discourage doctors from taking the day off. The problem? Scientific studies indicate that doctors' full moon superstitions are lunacy. That'll do it for this hour. For Jennifer Kashenka, I'm Gordon Deal. Thanks for listening to This Morning, America's First News.
Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance neat.
Great talent is the driving force behind your successful business. If you don't have the right people in key roles, then you have talent gaps. IMC Solutions identifies those gaps and delivers expertise in recruiting the right talent to fill them, leaving you free to succeed.
Hi, I'm Linda Nichols, founder of IMC Solutions. We're a niche recruiting and staffing firm that specializes in placing human resources and sales professionals. We've created programs that are just right for your small to medium-sized business because we know that you're looking for expertise, but are also looking at the bottom line expenses to your company. You can take advantage of recruiting services that big companies get, but you don't have to pay the big fees. Our programs and solutions are affordable and bring you the people you need.
IMC Solutions understands the unique challenges of your business, making the tough job of hiring easy. Get started on finding your next hire today at imcsolutions.com or call Linda Nichols at 630-637-6200.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. Hillary Clinton's running mate Tim Kaine says all of Donald Trump's talk of a rigged election is unjustified.
He's a big bully who's getting beaten, and now he's starting to whine.
So what does Trump mean by a rigged election?
Philadelphia is certainly one. You look at what's going on in Chicago. You look at what's going on in St. Louis and many other cities. There's tremendous voter fraud.
The Republican also says the media is supporting Hillary Clinton, putting out stories of him harassing or groping women he claims are phony. And last night, campaigning in Wisconsin, Trump reacted to new FBI documents showing a State Department official tried to get the FBI to change the classification of a Clinton email amid the probe into her using a private server.
This is felony corruption. Undersecretary Kennedy needs to resign.
Now, the State Department says there was no quid pro quo. The FBI made no change. Clinton has been off the campaign trail prepping for tomorrow night's debate on Fox News Channel. It's quieter around Mosul. The day after Iraqis started the operation to take the city back from ISIS, Kurdish fighters have paused, saying they've taken villages and will hold their positions. But an Iraqi commander says his troops stopped their advance because the Kurds said they needed more time. It's also quiet around Aleppo in Syria as Russia puts airstrikes on hold. Fox's Jessica Gallagher live in our Middle East Bureau.
Dave, the Kremlin's jets, along with Syrian warplanes, have stopped their airstrikes on the besieged city of Aleppo. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu says the cessation is in preparation for a planned temporary ceasefire in the city for Thursday. Shoigu adding the halt should help pave the way for insurgents to leave the rebel-held portions of Aleppo. The humanitarian pause in Aleppo is expected to begin Thursday at 8 a.m. local time and last until 4 p.m. It's intended to allow civilians, rebels, the wounded, and sick safe passage through two specific corridors. Dave.
Jessica, the Cleveland Indians are a win away from going to the World Series after beating Toronto again to go up 3-0 in the American League Championship Series. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
A very warm start to the morning. 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies. At 5:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. One man is dead, 4 others seriously hurt following a shooting on Chicago's South Side. Police say 5 people, including a 13-year-old boy, were shot last night near Winchester and Marquette when a group of people walked up and opened fire. Governor Bruce Rauner says he's creating a council reviewing state agency rules and regulations with the goal of cutting massive red tape that bogs down the state. AM 560's David Stewart was with the governor in Glen Ellen.
Governor Rauner says the state government is saddled with thousands of outdated and unnecessary regulations. He says a new group, the Illinois Competitiveness Council, will dig deep into state agencies to see what can be eliminated.
Many of these rules and regulations are well-intentioned, but they have unintended consequences that actually do more damage than good. And unfortunately, some of the other regulations are not that well-intentioned. They're designed to protect a certain group from competition from others.
Rauner says the council's goal is to save Illinoisans at least $250 million in license fee costs over the next decade. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
2 of the state's largest newspapers are splitting their endorsement for U.S. Senate. The Daily Herald will back Republican U.S. Senator Mark Kirk, while the Sun-Times editorial board has endorsed Tammy Duckworth. A review of the low-profile Metropolitan Water Reclamation District is showing the average salary for employees is $100,000. Better Government Association analysis ranks the MWRD salary average above the county, above the city, above the CTA, and above the CHA. A windsurfer is safe after he was rescued from Lake Michigan in north suburban Evanston. The man used his cell phone to call for help yesterday after his mast broke. And an Illinois man was killed in a weekend motorcycle crash in Wisconsin. Walworth County sheriffs say 57-year-old Timothy Adkins of McHenry lost control of his bike when he struck a second motorcycle on a curve Saturday afternoon. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Cubs and Dodgers meet in Game 3 of the NLCS tonight in L.A. Indians a win away from the World Series. Cleveland beat the Blue Jays 4-2 in Game 3 of the ALCS in Toronto. Bears turning their attention quickly to Thursday's road game against the Packers, and the Hornets beat the Bulls in OT 108-104. The news, a service of TrueCar. Save time and money downloading TrueCar's mobile app. Configure the new car you want, see what others paid for it, and get guaranteed savings. TrueCar users save on average over $3,000 off MSRP. Save time, money, download the TrueCar app today. 5:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I'd say the same thing to a billionaire that I would say to somebody making $30,000 a year.
The Joe Walsh Show.
The money you make, the money you earn, the money you invest, that's your money, damn it. And I think it's your duty, it's your right to do whatever you can do legally to limit what you give government, because we have a government that's too damn big.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
About 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store without having to stop and rest. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Join the Ayn Rand Institute at AM 560's Freedom Summit Chicago 2016. Saturday, October 29th at the Westin in Itasca. Yaron Brook, Executive Director of ARI, will discuss his book, Equal is Unfair. This provocative new book was highlighted last year by co-author Don Watkins and has been eagerly anticipated. ARI fellow and former Institute of Justice attorney Steve Simpson discusses his new book, Defending Free Speech. The idea of free speech is under attack on college campuses and around the world. Find out why and how to defend it. Inside Freedom Summit's Media Rumble Roundtable, Yaron Brook will be alongside Dan Proft, Mike Gallagher, and Guy Benson as they talk about the big issues of this year's election. Then, at 3 p.m., come to the book signing with Yaron and Steve. And finally, at 4 p.m., you won't want to miss the live taping of the Yaron Brook Show with audience Q&A and gifts for all live taping attendees. Find out more at 560theanswer.com, keyword freedom. Join the Ayn Rand Institute at Freedom Summit Chicago 2016.
My daughter started school, and I find myself worrying if she is getting home safe while I'm still at work. I wish I could check up on her.
Alarm Detection Systems offers remote control of your security system from your phone. Get text or video alerts when someone's at your door. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
Our neighbor had thousands of dollars in flood damage and lost several items that are irreplaceable. Is there a security solution to receive early warning of an event like this?
Of course. Alarm Detection Systems has flood detection systems alerting you when water gathers in your home, giving you time to react. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
5:08. Let's get an update on the roads in our AM 560 Traffic Center and the very latest this morning with Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. It is windy, so if you're hauling anything, be sure it's well secured. South Loop, there's a light pull down at Harrison and Dearborn. Overnight roadwork is cleared on the expressways and tollways. Things are looking pretty good. Take the Indiana Toll Road, well, into northern Indiana. There's now a closure of the interchange. State Road 39, no on or off ramps are open there. That means once you get east of 421, there's no exit till 31 in South Bend. Traffic is a service of Subway. Kick off the season with a feast catered by Subway restaurants, featuring giant subs, sandwich platters, and sides. Do game day right. Place your order today. Please allow a 24-hour notice for giant sub orders. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny with winds gradually subsiding, high 74. Tonight, mainly clear and breezy with a low 50. Then tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a high of 69. Mostly cloudy with a passing shower tomorrow night, low 52. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
72 at O'Hare, 74 along the lakefront, and 74 at Midway. Next news, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. Stop by and try their food before planning your awesome corporate event menu. Visit tastycatering.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, we'll take your calls all morning. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Your text is 64636DA. Remembering Billy Bush, your favorite Billy Bush memory.
R.I.P., baby.
He had a good run.
He did. He had a good run. It was a long 2 months, a long 8 weeks over there at the Today Show. But he was with Access Hollywood for 15 years. And They let him go. I mean, he was suspended, of course, right after the tape was played. 2 dadays after that. At first, they were going to stand by him, then they let him go.
He gone. Yeah.
But you know what's interesting? They took away the non-compete clause for him, which is huge. So now he can work anywhere at any time.
That's so great.
Well, they didn't do that for Brian Williams.
That's fantastic.
No, that's a big deal.
I'm very concerned.
He's got 3 daughters. He's got to feed them.
Oh,
I mean,
no. It's. I'm sure he's living hand to mouth too.
Do you want to start a GoFundMe page for Billy Bush?
How can you replace such a unique celebrity suck up? I mean, where are they going to find someone to replace the content that Billy Bush provided? So it's interesting to me, though. The one interesting thing about that is if he's going to be held to account for participating in the Boy Talk.
Yeah, you want to do Boy Talk today?
If he's going to be held to account for that, participating in that 11 years ago, same network. What about all the NBC execs who ran The Apprentice for 14 seasons?
Yeah.
I mean, I love the election eve morality from the network executives, from the DC Hollywood connected press corps. Don't you? I mean, it's just fascinating. Where all of these people that are aghast at Trump's conduct. There's another celebrity apprentice or accuser, a staffer, that said Gary Busey harassed her in some form or fashion, and Donald Trump yucked along. So it wasn't even just Donald Trump on set. Where are all these people? Where are all of the support staff and the producers and the network execs? All of this going on, and where were they? And why is there no accountability at the top of the food chain? If this happened in corporate America, responsibility would go right to the top.
Mm-hmm.
The senior executives and the CEO would be vilified. They would be the poster children for everything that's wrong in corporate America, and old boys club this and so on and so forth. And somehow when it's NBC, they get away with it. I find the double standard rather vexing.
And Donald Trump was an NBC employee at the time that he and Billy Bush were yucking it up on the bus.
You know, and she used to be great. She's still very beautiful.
I moved on her. Okay, all right, enough of this.
What about when they get off the bus?
It's the same.
He called himself the Bushster. I'm not Billy Bush. I'm the Bushster. What about the Trumpster? You gonna give the Trumpster a hug? Come on, listen, it's funny.
You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the.
See, but Billy Bush was just joking around with him. I can't believe Billy Bush has gotten axed from NBC for that. I mean, they originally, before they leaked it to the Washington Post, they had a cut spot ready to go. I know this because I have an inside source over there. The cut spot eliminated Billy Bush's voice at all from the tape.
So
they're, directing the narrative that, this is just all about Donald Trump. They didn't want to make Billy Bush look bad, but they wanted to make Donald Trump look bad.
Boy, they're casualties in every war. Yeah. Collateral damage. That's Billy Bush.
Yes.
It's a sad story.
And let's not forget, wait until Christmas time. Still, he has to see Barbara and HW, aunt and uncle.
You know what's more?
They're going to say something to him.
Yeah, I'm fat. I mean, there's nothing less fascinating than Billy Bush's life. But here's something that's perhaps a bit more interesting, since we're on the topic of corporate media. The wall-to-wall Trump coverage. We mentioned it a little bit yesterday. Trump mentioned it. Newt Gingrich mentioned it with Martha Raddatz this week. The amount of coverage, CBS, ABC, NBC, just on the recent allegations against Trump by a number of women, as compared to the contents of the WikiLeaks Podesta emails. When this is from Mediaite, one of your favorite websites.
I love Mediaite.
When TV News took a break from wall-to-wall Trump coverage, CBS, ABC, NBC's morning and evening shows spent 4 hours and 13 minutes on Trump's sexual assault allegations between the week of October 7th to October 13th, and versus 36 minutes on WikiLeaks emails. 4 hours and 13 minutes versus 36. So an eighth of the time on WikiLeaks emails versus the Trump sexual assault allegations. CBS, ABC, NBC morning and evening shows. That to me is more relevant than Billy Bush's life. I gotta say, you know what I mean?
8 weeks.
What's that?
His 8 weeks at the Today Show.
Yeah, no, I mean, let's.
15 at Access.
Did you have a timeline on the 8 weeks? What happened each day
Well,
in
'cause I
Billy
was-
Bush's professional life
No,
at the
because
Today Show?
It was during the Olympics when he got that interview with Ryan Lochte.
Oh,
and
yes,
then
I remember like it
parlayed
was
that
yesterday.
into a position for the 5th hour of the Today Show.
Mm.
Or maybe it's the 3rd, or maybe the 2nd. I don't know. There's so many hours in a day.
Mm.
Yeah.
In his departure, Billy Bush said that he was, quote, deeply grateful for the conversations I've had with my daughters and for all the support from my family, friends, and colleagues. I look forward to what lies ahead. This too shall pass, Billy Bush.
It's hard, though.
Billy Bush, we hardly knew ye.
312-642-5600, your favorite Billy Bush moment. Taking your calls all morning long.
I think my favorite Billy Bush moment
Was when?
is going to be when we stop talking about Billy Bush.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you going to start calling yourself the propster? Huh?
No, I'm not, because I'm an adult.
Today it's going to be partly sunny, windy out there. As you can tell, there's some debris blown on the roadway, so be careful. And then it's going to be 74 degrees for a high tomorrow. Some clouds and sun, a little bit cooler, a high of 69. Let's get those travel times. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. So far, nothing too bad. Got mild delays kicking in on the inbound side of I-57 and the Bishop Ford Freeway. 1 or 2 minute delays approaching the Rhine. And the inbound Rhine bunching up a little bit from 18th to the Burn Circle. That's just a 1 or 2 minute delay. The other expressways and tollways are looking pretty good right now. Indiana Toll Road at State Road 39 in LaPorte County. All the on and off ramps are now closed as part of the long-term construction there. So that means no exits between 421 in the Michigan City area and 31 in South Bend. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Dr. David Kolbaba. You know, hormone balance is a big deal. If your hormones are out of whack, it can account for so many health challenges like low energy and fatigue, spaced out memory, low sex drive, otherwise known as the dead in bed syndrome. Nothing excites you anymore with you watching more and more TV every night, misusing food or alcohol, and then there's the hair loss that you thought was age appropriate, and then the weight gain. Let me tell you about our specially priced dirt cheap hormone test. No blood, just saliva. Interesting that with over 33 years in private practice, I've never seen normal hormone test results in the first go-around. And that's why you need to have us help you balance your hormones once and for all. So call our HealthQuest radio hotline at 800-794-1855. You can't get any cheaper than dirt cheap. No blood, just spit. Call 800-794-1855. Oh, and be sure to listen to HealthQuest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11. But for now, call 800-794-1855.
When it comes to commercial vehicles, it's time to drill down to the details. If you're not driving the new Sprinter Worker from Mercedes-Benz, your van just isn't cutting it. The Sprinter Worker takes payload up a notch, carrying up to 3,512 pounds. Its cargo volume is cranked up too, with over 300 cubic feet of space. When it comes to safety, it's unmatched, but it's the price that'll really hammer it home. The new Sprinter Worker starts at just $32,495. It also has a service interval of up to 20,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. Put that in your pipe and weld it. Huge capacity, small price, starting at just $32,495. The all-new Sprinter Worker, starting at only $32,495. Mercedes-Benz, vans born to run.
MSRP for a 2016 Sprinter Worker excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Change in the market shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. In fact, since World War II, we've seen a correction on average about once every 18 months. That's why Arlington Capital Management developed proprietary tools that help them to see what's beyond your investment horizon. Like an experienced ship captain uses tools to avoid stormy weather, Arlington Capital Management uses tools to guide you through market corrections before it's too late and help us decide when to capitalize on opportunity. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 to learn how their active management systems can help you. Each day, they actively explore the market, our economy, and all the variables that affect your investments. Stormy markets never cloud their vision. The professionals at Arlington Capital Management use their tools and experience to guide them. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 for a financial review. The number again is 855-471-5796 or learn more at arlington-capital.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, now you've done it, Amy.
What?
We're in trouble with.
I like Billy Bush.
We're
Sorry.
in trouble with some of our listeners for talking about Billy Bush, which we'll be doing for 4 hours nonstop today.
Stop it. No, I mean, I thought Billy Bush, he was good at his job as an entertainment guy, not on the Today Show.
Yeah,
So I guess the Today Show is turned into entertainment.
It's real difficult. George Clooney, tell me why you're so great, and then give me a show. John and Marengo, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy.
Hi.
Hey, you guys are doing exactly what the press is doing.
Oh, no.
You just said that they spend an eighth of a time on WikiLeaks. And what do? You start the show with Donald Trump's sexual allegations. You know,
No, actually, we
we
started
don't
with
have
Billy
much
Bush.
time, Dan. We
Yeah.
don't have much time.
Yeah, I
we need
know.
to get this corruption and lies out there. I don't care about the Cubs. I don't care about Billy Bush.
Oh, my
Amy,
gosh. I don't care about the Cubs.
Or Billy Bush.
It's a heresy on the show.
yeah, I don't
John,
care
it's called
about
easing
anything.
into the
Our
morning.
country you guys, our country is hanging in the balance here. This is no joke. I don't care if the Cubs win or lose. I don't care about Billy Bush. We have to get the lies and corruption out there.
All
this
right.
is very, very important.
All right, thanks for the call, John. Now, just to be fair to us, when I mentioned 8-1 in terms of time allotted by the major networks to the sexual allegations against Trump versus the WikiLeaks emails, for example.
Yeah.
Of course, on this show, we balance that by going at least halfway in the other direction.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, at least.
we
We're
cover
just dabbling. We're easing into the morning, Dan.
we
right?
cover in detail all of these matters, as you know, John from Marengo.
I mean,
So
who
let's
else
be
knew?
fair.
Who else knew that the non-compete clause was dropped? We did.
You're not helping. You're not. You're making John from Marengo angrier.
Be quiet over
Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know what? I actually do agree with the previous caller, but the fact of the matter is, the story with Trump, and everyone could relate to it because it's so simple. It's got all the elements that people want as far as entertainment goes. That's why these news guys put it on. The Podesta emails and the Hillary. This has been a story for 2 years, and there's nothing that's going to happen to her about these emails. But you have to keep hammering away at the lies that this lady done and the incompetency of her, because all of the people that have died around her. In fact, I was talking to people that were professionals. I was shocked that they're on the Hillary train. I just can't believe what's going on in this country. So keep it up. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Angela in Prospect Heights.
Good morning. I have no plans of yelling at either one of you.
Okay.
I am watching what's going on with Billy Bush for the sole reason to see whether or not he'll be suffering the same way Debbie Wasserman Schultz suffered, because she suffered by gaining an opportunity to be employed that was far better than what she was doing before she did wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the call. I mean, right before she got ousted by the Bernie camp, she was just a Todd Christensen impersonator.
Stop
Then she
it.
they got upgraded. Billy Bush, Ken Bone probably get their own show on the NBC network.
Oh, yeah.
You think?
That would be good. I love Prospect Heights.
I love Prospect.
It's just suburb of Mount Prospect.
Is that where they have the adult baby store?
No, that's in Mount Prospect where I'm from.
Of course it
It's
is.
called Tyka Bowls. We haven't gone there yet for
I know.
our company outing.
I want to do a remote there.
Where do you want to be? In the ball pit or in the crib when you nap time?
Depends if I'm irascible that morning or not. Nobody gives me my binky. Phil on the Northwest Side.
Good morning, Fair and Balanced. I think you guys should maybe inform some of your former listeners about the fairness doctrine. But they're right. You guys are spending too much time on drama about how Trump is trying to show off and be a young man in front of Billy Bush. Take him out, show him around, show how young and cool he is because he's a showman.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you guys should spend way more time on how we are being threatened by China with nuclear war. And the only reason that's possible is because of the good old Clintons and our technicians they sent over there and the nuclear bombs we gave them. these things are very important and very pertinent to the election for whatever reason everybody seems to be ignoring it, and how they're the party of labor for everyone else except for American labor. It's really important to see how the EPA completely destroyed everything we have through the Clintons, and I wish you guys would focus more on it.
All right. Thanks, Phil. All right. Appreciate that. We'll take that under consideration. Now we're going to get back to cheap sex talk. No, I'm kidding. Sal in Barrington, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. My favorite memory of Billy Bush is a future vision of him on Dancing with the Stars and having that emotional breakdown with Tom about how much he learned about the process.
God bless you, Sal.
Yeah, wait, I don't understand. I don't understand anything you just said. Billy Bush was on Dancing with the Stars. He had an emotional breakdown. Who's Tom?
We see him. He's going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, this.
With the Stars.
Oh, you're
He'll
predicting
make it into
the future.
Finals.
Gotcha.
It'll be this emotional story of the recovery of Billy Bush.
And he'll dance to the song "Bad Boys" or I see what's going to happen there. Nice, Sal.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
pretty good. That's how it ends. That's how Western civilization ends, right there. Sal just nailed it. Randy and Sandwich.
Hey, you guys are one step away from being like B96 in the morning sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, we're Eddie and Jobo here.
You seriously?
No, I know.
Guys get off track, and then you start going into the mudslinging part of it.
Do you want Chief Keef up? What do you want up next? Whatever teenage girls are listening to, that's what we're talking about. Randy and Sandwich, thanks for the call.
Chief Keef.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Alice, owner of a growing company. Our entire business depends on our phones, so I was challenged when our phone service providers struggled to deliver our calls. Missed calls means lost revenue. I heard Innovative Networks helped AM 560, so I called. They provided an innovative solution that reinforced our phone infrastructure and enhanced call flow. I truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing us a solution that scales as my business expands. They even replaced our outdated phone system and provided hands-on training to maximize our capabilities. Amazingly, it cost us nothing. I'm saving money and more focused on growing my business. I'm thrilled with Innovative Networks.
Follow Alice's lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-889-9090. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Call 312-889-9090 or visit go4inet.com. Are you happy with your carrier?
I'd say the same thing to a billionaire that I would say to somebody making $30,000 a year.
The Joe Walsh Show.
The money you make, the money you earn, the money you invest, that's your money, damn it. And I think it's your duty, it's your right to do whatever you can do legally to limit what you give government, because we have a government that's too damn big.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
A couple years ago, I had a severe accident which disabled my right hand and caused chronic pain and complete suffering. It took many years before really we figured out exactly what it was or how to treat it. My whole goal was I did not want to be on high levels of pain medicine. After some time, I went to see Dr. Kenneth Candido to try to figure out the source of the pain and a solution and how to solve it. He listens. I'm going to cry because it's so real. I've been through so much, and he wants to help his patients, and he's there for me whenever I need him.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. I have a simple message for you. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. MyPainChicago.com, MyPainChicago.com. All the info is available at MyPainChicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Everybody breathe into your brown paper bags. We're going to do the James O'Keefe video next. And, oh, by the way, programming note, we have James O'Keefe on the show at 8:35. Does ABC, NBC, and CBS, are they doing that? So chill. We also have Jan Schakowsky's opponent in her congressional race at 6:35. We also have Jeffrey Lord, a CNN commentator and Trump surrogate. We also have Faisal Khan, a former City of Chicago City Council Inspector General. We'll get to the hard stuff, kids. Relax.
It's going to be okay.
It's all going to be okay.
21 Pilots.
No,
Stretched out.
Don't say that. Let's get the latest from here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
72 outside. The Pentagon says Iraqi forces are ahead of schedule in the fight to drive ISIS from the northern city of Mosul. Fox's Sam Kiley is on the ground with forces there, Iraqi forces, he says, with support from the U.S.-led coalition.
Mosul is the target. It's about 10 miles away in the distance, in beyond thick smoke, which has been created by Islamic State in burning oil wells in order to obscure their positions from airstrikes. And we can see a good deal of movement, but of limited numbers of troops in this Nineveh Valley, a very rich agricultural area. And that in itself poses a degree of problems because, of course, this landscape is peppered with factories which have now been used as bases for more than 2 years by Islamic State. They've been building tunnel complexes. Well, one of their tricks is to allow their enemies to go over their main positions and then pop up behind them.
Fox's Sam Kiley is in Mosul, Iraq this morning. Donald Trump says recently released documents from the FBI point to corruption in the State Department.
We're witnessing a criminal enterprise that has turned our government into a vehicle for the Clintons' personal profit at your expense.
Trump pointing in Green Bay, Wisconsin, to the allegations that a State Department official attempted a quid pro quo deal with the FBI to declassify one of Hillary Clinton's emails. 3 men who allegedly plotted to carry out a terror attack in Kansas remain in custody. Meantime, a Maryland man is being indicted for plotting an ISIS-inspired attack. The 24-year-old native of Bangladesh accused of planning to kill members of the U.S. military on behalf of the terror group. 1 man is dead, 4 others seriously hurt following a shooting on Chicago's South Side. 5 people, including a 13-year-old, were shot last night near Winchester and Marquette. And attorneys for an Indiana woman accused of smothering her 2 children near Elkhart after abducting them is seeking a competency evaluation. Amber Paz-Tour's public defender filed a motion yesterday seeking that evaluation. Cubs and Dodgers meet in Game 3 of the NLCS tonight. Indians a win away from a trip to the World Series after a 4-2 win over Toronto, and the Blackhawks battle the Flyers tonight. The news, a service of Accountemps. Accounting and finance salaries are on the rise in 2017. Get an in-depth salary forecast for more than 400 accounting and finance roles in your area by visiting them at Accountemps.com. Accountemps is a Robert Half company. 5:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Debate number 2 got personal.
Bill Clinton was abusive to women.
Real personal.
We've seen him embarrass women.
So will the third and final debate be more of the same? Will Hillary continue the assault on Trump's personal life?
I know you're into big diversion tonight.
And will Trump point his sights again on Hillary's mounting email scandal?
There has never been so many lies.
Join us for the final debate, Trump-Clinton, Wednesday. Pre-debate coverage begins with Joe Walsh, starting at 5. Hear the debate at 8 on AM 560. The Answer.
Remodel your kitchen with Galaxy. Buy 1 cabinet and get 1 free with free financing and design services. Call 773-783-8300.
No matter what type of business you're in, having a strong business banking partnership can help your bottom line. I'm Jeff Boundy, president of Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company. We strongly believe that trust, service, and relationship are the cornerstone of a successful business banking partnership. Customers like Dr. Steichen of Northwest Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery agree.
Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Steichen of Northwest Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery in Arlington Heights, Elgin, and Lake Zurich. As an oral surgeon and business owner, I recognize the importance of relationships. I need a bank that responds quickly and creatively and understands the unique needs of healthcare practices. Cornerstone has been a valuable business partner. Has helped me grow my practice and seize opportunities as they come up. Whether it's a line of credit, financing equipment, or real estate, Cornerstone is there for me.
Thank you, Doctor. Please visit cornerstonenb.com, or I invite you to give me a call at 847-654-3000 to explore a business banking partnership.
Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
5:35. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560 Traffic Center time. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic is jammed on northbound I-55 from Weber to past 53. 3 crashes reported off on the shoulder, off the roadway. It's big delays starting at Weber Road. Farther north now, a little slow on the Stevenson, Harlem, McKenzie. 37 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, up on Pond at 34. The Edens and the Kennedy are fine. Inbound Eisenhower, a little heavy approaching Racine. There's a crash there on the right side, the car facing the wrong way. Ryan is 17 minutes, 90-50 downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both about 25 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Traffic is a service of TrueCar. If you're ready to buy a new car, download the TrueCar app. Just configure the new car you want, see what others paid for it, lock in guaranteed savings from TrueCar certified dealers. It's that easy. Save time and save money. Download the TrueCar app today. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Partly sunny skies. Winds will gradually subside. Right now, they're out of the southwest at 19 miles an hour. High 74 later today. Breezy overnight again. Low 50. 72 at O'Hare. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is powered by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping the lights on through summer storms.
Let not your heart be troubled. Listen to me, Sean Hannity. I'll have the latest news and what it all means for you. It's coming up at 2 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, the man who walked across the border from Mexico into this country disguised as Osama bin Laden has unmasked professional leftist political operatives,
Forgot about that one.
including Jan Schakowsky's husband, convicted felon Bob Creamer, purposely attempting to incite violence at Trump-Pence events for the purposes of advancing the narrative that Trump supporters are violent and giving fodder to the D.C. press corps to broadcast that narrative, to tell that story, to create that caricature.
Yeah, but not only violent, crazy, too.
We'll get to that in just a minute. We'll quickly, Paxton and Martinton. Paxton here on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, hi. Hi, Dan and Amy. I wanted to commend your programming. The only problem you have is you've got too many pretend bosses as callers this morning. I mean, you seem to, they've forgotten the entertainment value, which, by the way, Michael Medved balances quite well. And you two were brilliant last night. I enjoyed it. Hope you're on more.
Thank you very much, Paxton. I appreciate the
have
call.
a good morning.
Thank you. You too.
And programming note, we will be on again today.
That's right. We'll be sitting in for Michael Medved today, and then he's back tomorrow.
Yeah.
But 2 to 5, and then, of course, rebroadcast on this station from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. So check us out again. But now let's check out this video. This is important. This is revelatory. O'Keefe.
Yeah, I watched it because of you yesterday, and it is... Yeah, everybody needs to see this.
The two individuals that are the subjects here, and they just can't help themselves, can they? You want to talk about Trump bragging on himself. These two can't help it but brag about how clever they are. Scott Foval is the field director for Americans United for Change. He previously worked for People for the American Way, another leftist organization. And Bob Creamer, I just mentioned, he's the front guy for an outfit called Democracy Partners, which is basically just a DBA for Bob Creamer. And they talk about the role they have to get Hillary Clinton elected. This is in their own words, okay? It's just kind of put a microphone to them, ask a question, let them talk. Scott Foval on the deal.
If you're there and you're protesting and you do these actions, you will be attacked at Trump rallies. That's what we know.
So that's part of the process of eliciting the reaction.
The whole point of it is we know that Trump's people will freak the out. His security team will freak out, and his supporters will lose their.
So that's him talking about how they attempt to incite confrontation. And Foval goes on to provide some insight into the structure, how this works. Because you're not going to be able to just say, oh, this is the guilt by association game. Oh, the vast right-wing conspiracy. That this is just a group. They're not affiliated with the campaign. Hillary Clinton can't control what they do. The DNC can't control what they do. Actually, they can. They're kind of all networked together.
We are contracted directly with the DNC and the campaign, both.
Yeah.
I am contracted to him, but I answer to the head of special events for the DNC and the head of the special events and political for the campaign.
I answer to the head of special events for the DNC and the head of special events for the campaign. And he's referring to the Hillary campaign. Okay, so we've established, I think, fairly clearly in his own words, Scott Foval's own words, the connection to the campaign. And the answer to him specifically, he's referring to Bob Creamer. So let's bring in Bob Creamer from Democracy Partners.
It's a little puffy these days.
Fresh off of his stay at Club Fed for bank fraud, here's Bob Creamer talking about his political activity.
Wherever Trump and Pence are going to be, we have events.
Okay.
And we have a whole team across the country that does that. Both consultants and people from the Democratic Party and the Democratic Party apparatus and people from the campaign, the Clinton campaign. My role with the campaign is to manage all that.
So his role for the campaign is to manage all of the professional agitators, the professional fight starters. That's what Bob Creamer is doing as one of Hillary Clinton's plumbers.
Gangster. I mean, that's what gangster. He's a thug.
Sending people out
to do dirty work.
To all of the Trump rallies, Trump-Pence events, to try and precipitate violence, essentially. Foval and Creamer, part of a mutual admiration society. Listen to Scott Foval describing his good friend and ally, colleague, Bob Creamer.
I work with Bob Creamer one-to-one all the time. I'm the white hat. Democracy Partners is kind of the white hat. Bob Creamer is diabolical, and I love him for it. Yeah.
A little difficult to hear over the music. We're at a noisy place, but Scott Foval, I wear the white hat. Creamer wears the black hat. He's diabolical. I love that. I love him for that. That's what Scott Foval said. And then Foval provided the details on how they go about inciting conflict, that this is scripted, and they have a specific game plan that they follow.
There's a script.
Oh, there is a script.
There's a script.
Okay.
There's a script of engagement. Sometimes the crazies bite, and sometimes the crazies don't bite. They're starting confrontations in the line, right? They're not starting confrontations
The volunteers.
in the rally, because once they're inside the rally, they're under Secret Service's control. When they're outside the rally,
They're more affected out. They're harder to get in.
the media will cover it no matter where it happens.
I assume it's always in the rally.
Initiating the conflict by having leading conversations with people who are naturally psychotic.
Right.
Oh, so forget deplorables. They said they're psychotic.
The crazies.
Crazies.
Well, I guess.
Well, there's some crazies everywhere. I mean, in both parties, even independents, but that they would seek out crazy people because they always say crazy people make for great television.
Half the Trump supporters are crazies, and the other half are psychotics, I guess, according to Scott Foval. So there's two things that are important about that. One is the description of Trump supporters. Two is the connection to the media, right? We know what the media will cover. We're going to do our job, and then we know the D.C. press corps, the cameras will do their job. So we stay outside the venues so we don't get our professional agitators in trouble with Secret Service that has control of the event once you go inside the venue. We don't want people arrested. We don't want to be unearthed.
Right.
So we do it outside, and all we have to do is incite the combativeness or worse, and then the media does the rest for us. That's the connected. It's you don't have to coordinate directly because everybody knows what to do. The leftist political operatives know what to do, and then the D.C. press corps takes it from there.
But isn't this illegal, what they're doing? I mean, isn't inciting violence some type of criminal charge?
Well,
or is it hard to prove what rallies that they were successful at and which ones they weren't?
Potentially. Joe DiGenova is a former U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. We had him on the Medved show yesterday when we sat in, and he suggested, there's the possibility if you wanted to look into this and to subpoena records and to essentially put together an
travel documents and
an org chart of the organization, right, of this whole operation. and then look at specific instances of what was said and done and the results of what was said and done, there's the possibility, but of course, looking into these matters particularly at the federal level, thinking about the FBI looking into these matters, looking into this organization, issuing subpoenas, I'm not sure that there's a lot of confidence that the FBI, at least under this current director, is interested in such matters, particularly with 3 weeks go before the election. So it's unlikely, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility that you have criminal activity going on here that, could be prosecuted.
What makes me sick is that James O'Keefe, he was blocked from Twitter because of that video and other videos that he's released in the past 2 days. They blocked him out for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you talk about controlling the message. Yeah, that's right. You were on there. You said, where did it go? Where'd the video go? They yanked it. They pulled it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit their narrative. When you talk about freedom of expression and freedom of speech, Twitter just squashed that.
Well, they, right after they
that is
turned
so
off,
weird.
Right after they turned off Julian Assange, they turned their sights on James O'Keefe, I saw.
So he has 11 hours and 59 minutes, and he has to complete some additional tasks to resume using his Twitter account, please.
Oh, my
gosh.
Remember, Foval said, among other things, remember the Iowa State Fair thing where Scott Walker grabbed the sign out of the dude's hand, and then the dude gets kind of roughed up right in front of the stage there on the camera? Yeah, that was us. That guy got roughed up is my counterpart who works for Creamer. And that was like storyboard. The question, that was storyboard, him getting roughed up like that. Foval, we scenarioed it. We not only lent ourselves, we planted multiple people in that front area around him and in back to make sure there wasn't just an action that happened up front. There was also a reaction that happened out back. So the cameras, when they saw it, saw double angles of stuff like they saw what happened up front, and they saw the reaction of people out back. That was recounting the Scott Walker story at the Iowa State Fair. There's another example, and there's example after example that Mr. Foval brags about, and we thank him for his arrogance. Deborah and Palatine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, good morning. I said to your screener, while I'm disgusted with the mainstream media and the Hillary campaign in Washington, I'm even more disgusted with the American people because this stuff just keeps blowing past people, and they seem not to care. It doesn't make a dent. We're more concerned with what Donald Trump said 10 years ago than some of these really important country-changing issues. These people just don't seem to care, and I don't understand. Somebody's going to have to help me understand because I don't get it.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Deborah. Brad and the circuses and the Billy Bushes.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up later, election stress disorder. Do you have it? What are the symptoms? But first, here's your forecast today. It's going to be partly sunny with the winds dying down by this afternoon, a high of 74 degrees. They're pretty windy out there. There's a lot of debris on the roadway this morning. I almost ran over a mattress on the Jane Addams. And then tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a high of 69. Let's get the latest from Jim Telemonte. Any blowing objects out there that you see?
Not right now, Amy. No mattresses or poles at the moment, but we do have some crashes off I-55 near 53, and it's causing a big backup right now. Seeing delays from 126 to past 53, but again, these crashes off on the right side. It's a big delay there on northbound I-55. Farther north, kind of the usual slowdown, Harlem to Kedzie, 39 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, once you can get to 355. Edens and the Kennedy are still fine. Inbound Eisenhower, about a 2-minute delay, Manheim to Des Plaines Avenue. Ryan is 19 minutes to 95th to downtown. I-57, 26 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 35. Really heavy starting past 130th. Northbound Tri-State, a little heavy at 290. The other tollways are good. Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Peter forgot to order supplies for the office, and the boss is not happy.
Peter, we're out of toilet paper.
I'm sorry, boss. I'll order supplies right now. They should be here by next week.
Next week?
Peter really needs to call Combined Sales. Combined Sales has the products and solutions your business can't live without. From paper to pens, packaging, janitorial and safety supplies, and food service, Combined Sales to the rescue. They're local and can get you the supplies needed to keep your business running smoothly, fast, and at a great price. Plus, you'll deal with real people, not just another faceless internet site. You'll have an outside rep, an inside rep, and a customer service rep. Right now, Combined Sales has a presidential offer for new customers. This is huge! Open a business account today, order $500 in supplies, and you'll earn 5% in Co-op reward dollars on all purchases for the next 3 months. Plus, receive a bonus $50 Co-op reward. Request an account set up today at CombinedSales.com. CombinedSales.com.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
My name is Frank Pellegrini. 30-some years ago, I founded a company called Prairie Title, and we've been doing business with Townstone Financial for many years. Townstone is prepared. Townstone is transparent. Townstone serves the consumer. Townstone is there to make sure that the deal goes right and communicates very seamlessly with us at the closing, before the closing, and after the closing. It is a very well-oiled machine.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639. Equal housing lender.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance, but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I'll tell you what, the Cleveland Indians, the tribe, the Chief Wahoos, they better get out of Toronto, sweep the Blue Jays, get out of Toronto before they're not allowed to call themselves the Indians anymore.
Well, yeah, there's a Toronto Indigenous group. They went and filed an injunction yesterday because they wanted to stop broadcasters from saying Cleveland Indians. They just wanted to call them Cleveland. The Cleveland team facing your Toronto Blue Jays. Cleveland. Yes, and then they wanted them to cover up that logo of theirs. What's that guy called, that character?
Chief Wahoo.
Chief Wahoo, yeah. They were very offended. They said it was a discriminatory action. They were offended, and they wanted it to be stopped. Well, luckily, there are some sensible judges in Canada, in Toronto, and he said, no, my ruling stands. You will not be touching their logo, and the broadcasters can say Cleveland Indians. We are playing the Cleveland Indians.
I'll tell you what.
Didn't work out well for the Indians, or the Toronto Blue Jays. They lost 4-2.
Better be careful up there north of the border in strange Brewland. You better be careful, because you start messing with the Indians, and we'll take that Toronto Blue Jays ball club right away from you, Canada.
Oh yeah,
we can redistribute, in true Canadian fashion. We can redistribute those Toronto Blue Jays players among the other 29 teams.
And they actually had fans there. I don't know if those were paid actors and hockey fans that they took and threw a Blue Jay. Fans. Yeah, but they were there, and too bad Game 4 is today, this afternoon. They'll be swept.
Yeah.
But Cleveland's had quite a year. NBA title, Republican National Convention, and now they're going to be hosting a World Series. But Trevor Bauer, the pitcher last night, it was so disgusting. I had to turn off because his hand was gushing blood because he was playing with a drone the other day, because, that's what you do if you're a star pitcher. You play with a drone. And he cut his finger, and they put in some stitches, but it wasn't holding. And there was blood gushing out, and they took him off the pitcher's mound. And they still won the game, but don't play with drones.
And those are your Twib notes from Mel Allen Jacobson.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. Stay warm this winter. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for winter storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chris Veldman of ServiceMaster DSI, the largest ServiceMaster franchise in the United States and a customer of Signature Bank. In our business, we respond to disaster, and we never know when disaster will strike, whether it's flooding in Louisiana or a house fire in Chicago. Not all banks understand that need for flexibility, but Signature Bank does. That's why we consider them so much more than a bank. They have been our business partner since 2006, when their three co-founders, Mick, Kevin, and Brian, started the bank. Signature Bank is a key part of our growth strategy at ServiceMaster DSI.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A couple years ago, I had a severe accident which disabled my right hand and caused chronic pain and complete suffering. It took many years before really we figured out exactly what it was or how to treat it. My whole goal was I did not want to be on high levels of pain medicine. After some time, I went to see Dr. Kenneth Candido to try to figure out the source of the pain and a solution and how to solve it. He listens. I'm going to cry because it's so real. I've been through so much, and he wants to help his patients, and he's there for me whenever I need him.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. I have a simple message for you. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. MyPainChicago.com, MyPainChicago.com. All the info is available at MyPainChicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
Is this presidential election wearing you out? Are you tired of the banal chatter about Trump and Hillary on cable news and your social media feed? Then join the Heartland Institute Wednesday, October 26th for a special Women in Politics event that will feature adult conversation and genuine insights on the 2016 election. Listen, learn, and be inspired by women who are shaping free market governing policies in America. Speakers include Illinois Lieutenant Governor Evelyn Sanguinetti, Illinois State Senate Minority Leader Christine Rodogno, Illinois State Representative Patty Bellick, Kathleen Murphy of the Illinois Opportunity Project, and more special guests. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, October 26th. The event is free with food and drink on the house, but you have to register soon to join the Heartland Institute for this special Women in Politics event. Go to heartland.org to register or call 312-377-4000. Don't miss out. Seats are filling fast. Go to heartland.org or call 312-377-4000.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Melania Trump breaks her silence and calls the allegations against her husband lies. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 1 killed, 4 hurt in a Southside Chicago shooting, and ComEd reporting thousands of power outages this morning. We'll tell you why. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony.
Hillary Clinton is the most corrupt person ever to run for the presidency of the United States.
Donald Trump in Wisconsin last night seizing on the latest from her Secretary of State email controversy amid all his claims the election's rigged. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the documents show the State Department pressured the FBI to back down on classifying an email from Clinton's private server. State Department spokesman Mark Toner denied Undersecretary for Management Patrick Kennedy offered to give the FBI additional slots overseas in exchange for changing classification.
Any really assertion that this was somehow tit for tat or a quid pro quo exchange of in that manner really, frankly, is insulting.
Donald Trump said this is felony corruption. Undersecretary Kennedy needs to resign. A Clinton spokesman said agencies have disagreements regarding retroactive classification. Dave.
Rachel Trump keeps calling allegations he harassed or groped women phony, while Melania Trump talks to Fox and Friends about that 2005 video of her husband making crude remarks about women.
Those words, they were offensive to me, and they were inappropriate. And he apologized to me.
Trump will hold rallies in Colorado today while Hillary Clinton lays low, prepping for tomorrow night's debate on Fox News Channel. That was the fundraiser for her last night in New York City. Hollywood and Broadway stars put on a show, including Billy Crystal, Hugh Jackman, Julia Roberts, and Barbra Streisand. There'll be a memorial service today for the two Palm Springs, California police officers murdered earlier this month. Two other California cops are lucky to be alive.
Vallejo Police Chief Andrew Badu says two of his officers were at a Starbucks Sunday night.
Adam Powell, a 41-year-old Sassoon resident, appeared in the doorway and attempted to assassinate the officers with an assault weapon.
But his weapon malfunctioned. The officers pulled their weapon and chased Powell. He kept trying to get his rifle to work, and officers shot him 3 times. He was taken to a hospital.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Partly cloudy skies, winds out of the southwest at 20 miles an hour. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott on AM's 560 The Answer, and we are watching a ComEd outage map grow with a number of outages, especially as you head south. The area around Oak Lawn and Cicero, areas like that, seeing outages up to 2,500 outages this morning. And ComEd tells us over 500 outages in the northern suburbs as well this morning, as are some cropping up near Wheaton this morning, all tied to heavy wind gusts of up to 50 miles an hour. One man is dead, 4 others are seriously hurt following a shooting on Chicago's South Side. Police say 5, including a 13-year-old boy, were shot near Winchester and Marquette when a group of people walked up and opened fire. One of those victims was struck in the head and died at the scene. Mayor Emanuel's office is laying out their plan for hiring nearly 1,000 new police officers while filling any vacancies in that department. Details this morning from AM 560's David Stewart.
As City Council budget hearings open, City Budget Director Alex Holt testified that the city will be able to add 250 new patrol officers while at the same time fill nearly 500 existing vacancies and keep pace with about 275 retirements and nearly 300 promotions. Holt says the city will hold another police exam in April, but will start 2 more police academy classes this year and then next year put 100 men and women through the academy each month for 11 months. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
A man in federal custody in Chicago being linked to a failed bombing of a small-town police station in northern Colorado. FBI agents arrested 64-year-old David Ansberry of California Saturday here in Chicago. He is suspected of leaving that homemade explosive device outside of a police station in Nederland, Colorado, last week. The device did not go off until a police robot detonated it in a nearby parking lot. Cubs and Dodgers meet in Game 3 of the NLCS tonight in L.A. The Indians a win away from a trip to the World Series after a 4-2 win over the Blue Jays in Toronto. Hornets outlast the Bulls in OT in the NBA preseason, 108-104. The news, a service of TrueCar. Configure the new car you want, see what others paid for it, and lock in guaranteed savings from TrueCar certified dealers. Download the TrueCar app. It's that easy. Save time and save money. Download the TrueCar app today. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that you're probably driving right now. Sitting comfortably behind the wheel with a tasty caffeinated beverage in your cup holder. Well, if you were driving with Uber, you could be earning money right now too. That's because Uber is the ultimate side hustle. Extra cash whenever you want. Earning you can turn on and off, just like your car. This isn't just another job, it's a totally flexible way to earn. So go ahead, get your side hustle on. Visit uber.com/drive now. That's uber.com/drive now.
You're listening to the actual sound of Jupiter. Its electromagnetic waves were captured by a probe and beamed roughly 365 million miles to scientists on Earth. But say those same scientists wanted to host a video conference to show off their work. They'd probably need to call IT to have them set up video and a 15-digit dial-in that might not even work. At Vonage, we think it's about time business communications caught up. See what Vonage can do for your business at Vonage.com/it'sabout-time.
6:06. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On northbound I-55, traffic is stopped from before 126 to past 53 with 3 crashes blocking the shoulder in that area near 53. Farther north, Stevenson has scattered delays starting at 83. 44 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 34. Eden Spur eastbound past Waukegan Road, past that it's 5. Kennedy, 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 23. The Eisenhower's 37 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 31. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 34, eastbound Adams Tollway. Heavy explains Oasis delayed traffic service of account temps. The 2017 salary guide is here. Check it out for instant access to the up-to-date salary forecast. More than 400 accounting and finance jobs where you live. Visit them at AccountTemps.com. Account Temps are Robert Half Company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Winds gradually subsiding today from 25 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. Otherwise, partial sunshine with a high today 74. Mainly clear and breezy night tonight with a low of 50. For tomorrow, clouds and sun, high 69. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
In comment telling us there are power outages in the south suburbs and centered in the north and northwest suburbs as well because of those winds. 70 degrees officially at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Steve Beeman Show with co-host Carol Parisi, empowering you Sunday evenings at 8 right here on AM 560.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
So that's part of the process of eliciting the reaction.
The whole point of it is we know that Trump's people will freak the out.
It looks to me like a rigged election.
A totally rigged election.
It's a rigged election.
This is a rigged system, folks.
I think when most Americans hear that an election's rigged, they think of government action to rig the election. And there, Mr. Trump has a point if he would just make it more clearly.
It is pitchfork and torches time in America.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy and Tammy. Why not?
Did you watch it?
And Hillary Clinton wasn't standing by her man baking cookies. You'll remember her famous formulation on that. But Melania Trump did stand by her man in an interview on CNN with Anderson Cooper last evening.
Yeah, she broke her silence for the first time since the RNC. She spoke out about what happened about these allegations, and she says her husband's behavior was egged on by one Billy Bush.
I said to my husband that, the language is inappropriate. It's not acceptable. And I was surprised because that is not the man that I know. And as you can see from the tape, the cameras were not on. It was only a mic. And I wonder if they even knew that the mic was on, because they were kind of a boy talk, and he was lead on, like egg on, from the host to say dirty and bad stuff.
More of an instigator, Billy Bush or Bob Kramer and Scott Foval, those leftist operatives caught on undercover video by James O'Keefe. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-3638, turnkey.pro text line. Who wants to talk like boys?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, Donald Trump was 59 years old at the time.
Youthful 59.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah, this was a youthful indiscretion. But when watching that tape, her husband wasn't egged on. He was being the showman, being the big guy. Like, look at me. Oh, yeah, I can do whatever I want to women. I can touch them wherever I want. Billy Bush was just the yes man going, yes, oh yeah, oh, you're funny, laughing at him to inflate his ego.
That's the egging on, is the audience.
I thought she was a little off, but she said, the words that were used in that tape, the P word and things like that we have to bleep out. She said she's never heard him use that before.
Is that language you had heard him use before?
No, that's why I was surprised, because I said, I don't know that person that would talk that way. And that he would say that kind of stuff in private. I heard many different stuff, boys talk. The boys, the way they talk when they grow up and they want to sometimes show each other, oh, this and that, and talking about the girls. But I was surprised, of course. But I was not surprised that the tape came out. I was not surprised about that.
Why?
Because, as I said, it's many people from the opposite side that they want to damage the campaign. And why now? Why after so many years? Why 3 weeks before the election?
So she said that, everything that's happened, the tape and the women coming forward, was a orchestrated conspiracy between the Clintons and the media. But watching that interview, she looked so, she wasn't, I'm not a body language expert, Dan.
Oh.
Just in case.
All right, that's just so stipulated.
But she was looking away. It seemed like an act to me. Why put her out there 3 weeks before the election? Was this their last hope? Was this their last chance? Was it a good move to put her out there 3 weeks before the election?
I think it's a good move to put her out there. I think Ivanka probably be interesting to hear from her too. She's been a bit quiet of late. I think she's a very effective campaign surrogate, and it reminds people that Trump has classy women, smart women around him. That's probably a good thing to remind people.
But also, I wonder, why didn't he vet himself? If he's been recorded so many times on different programs, but Melania said that there's too many shows that he was on, they couldn't do it. But he also apologized to his wife after the tape aired.
He apologized. I accept his apology. I hope the American people will accept it well. And it was many, many years ago. He's not the man that I know. And as I many times said, and he said it as well, it's very hard, especially for him, when he decided to run for presidency, because he did so many stuff in his life. He was on so many tapes, so many shows, and we knew that tapes will come out, people won't want to go against him. But my husband is real, he's raw, he tells it as it is. He's kind, he's a gentleman, he supports everybody. He supports women. He encourages them to go to the highest level, to achieve the dreams. He employs many, many women, and as you can see, it's also, I see now, it's a lot of backlash on the media, the way they treated him.
Naive, a little naive?
How is she naive?
I just...
Do you think?
So many
let me
women
ask you a
forward,
question. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that a man may talk with friends or other men differently than he speaks to his wife?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But how many of those men get caught on a hot mic?
Well, fortunately, most men don't have to hang out with Billy Bush. But but that's not the point. The point is, is what she's saying so implausible? I don't find it implausible. I don't find it implausible that his wife wouldn't tolerate his apish conduct or rhetoric around her.
But she wasn't familiar with it at all?
Well, if he's not doing it around her, then how is she familiar with it? I mean, she's familiar with it in terms of his like celebrity apprentice persona, and you're fired, and so on and so forth. But and maybe the Howard Stern appearances back in the day. But perhaps she thought there's some, counter evidence to this. But perhaps she thought she's had a civilizing impact on him in their time as a married couple, and perhaps she has. And perhaps she's muted some of his worst instincts and some of his more contemptible conduct. But the idea that he knows, this is conjecture, but the idea that he would know that is not going to be tolerated by Melania. And so, I can do that in the cloakroom with the boys, but I know when I get home that that stuff doesn't happen around the house. That's not implausible to me.
And she said when they are at home, it's as if she has two sons, Barron and her husband.
Well, okay.
It's kind of two teenage boys. Actually, they should behave better, right?
He was 59.
Correct. And sometimes I said, I have two boys at home. I have my young son and I have my husband. So, but I know how some men talk, and that's how I saw it. Yes.
What wife doesn't think she has an adolescent boy for a husband from time to time?
But do men talk like that? She brushed it off as
no. I'm not conceding the locker room talk stuff.
Okay.
I've never spoken like that, even with other dudes.
Thank you.
And most of my friends, I can't recall anything quite like that.
And if one of your friends said that word, wouldn't you be like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" Or clean it up.
Well, it's not even clean it up. You'd be ridiculed just because it's just so gruesome and lowbrow, and I don't know. You would be ridiculed into silence.
Yeah.
But I mean, but I don't find Melania to be less than credible.
Calculated last night. Maybe it's just because she's not. I
don't find her to be less than credible.
Maybe it's a language difference. Maybe because
I think she's communicating very clearly, more clearly than her husband does most of the time.
All right. It just didn't seem genuine to me. Maybe that's it.
Those suggestions that she's got, two boys at home, her son and her husband. I mean,
that was kind of cute.
That's something that a wife would say. Probably most wives with cause would say it. And
but I understand Cooper to say, "Hey, what about Summers? Why was he in a hotel room with her?" Those questions weren't asked. Everything seemed very scripted to me. Because if I was doing that interview, I would say, "Hey, what about those 9 women who've come forward?"
Yeah, we go chapter and verse. Well, she's going to be on Fox and Friends this morning as well, so we'll see if they
that reporter asks
Ainsley Earnhardt. Dale, the Terminator, Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, she's going to be on with her, so we'll see what she has to say.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Verlin on the south side, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, I need a comment. First, I need to comment on what you just said, Dan. Well, where I grew up at, they talk way worse. You ever heard of NWA, Ghetto Boys, Notorious Big?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
All right. Now, I want to take up for Donald Trump. Now, people aren't focusing in on the word that he said. He said when you are rich or a star, they let you do anything. So if they let you do it, that's consent. And I got a question for Amy.
Yes.
Amy, when does no mean no? Does no mean no when you let them do it first and then you stop in the middle or at the end? When does no mean no? See, this is what people not realizing. CNN, MSNBC is trying to turn words into sexual assault. It's it's not sexual assault if they let you do it.
All right, thanks for the call, Verlin.
Don't ask me when no means no, because for me, no means no.
Me too.
Not maybe. But sometimes no means maybe. Oh, just
what?
Go.
Can you have that debate with yourself over in the corner and then come back when it's resolved? Dan at O'Hare, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Amy, my wife calls me her third son all the time.
Oh,
and if you don't think men don't talk about women, when they're in the locker room, and you're living a fantasy because we do talk about women. But when I'm around
going
my
into
wife,
your locker
I
room
respect
soon.
her and put her on the highest pedestal.
Oh, that's nice.
That last thought, Dan. But when you get home, say that again.
When I get home, I put my wife on a pedestal. She is the utmost to me, and I treat her with the utmost respect.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the call, Dan.
Well, I can come in your locker room.
That's kind of what I'm talking
soon.
about.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, come on into the locker room.
I'm coming in your locker room because I can.
I'll tell you what, you'll visit once and you'll run horrified from the locker room, never to desire to be there again. Eddie in Milwaukee, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Just one quick comment. Donald Trump may talk dirty, but Hillary lets Americans die in foreign lands.
And I'm sorry, I'm a Hillary voter. I'm confused. Which is more important? Thanks for the call, Eddie.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We're going to have partly sunny skies today. The wind is going to gradually die down by this afternoon, a high of 74 degrees. Tonight, mainly clear and breezy, a low of 50. And then tomorrow, we're going to have some sun and clouds, a high of 69 degrees. Let's go to the roadways. How's I-55 doing? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Hi, Amy. It's a real mess. Northbound jam from before 126 to past 53. There were 3 crashes off on the right side. There's one left just past 53. It's a huge delay, though, starting before 126. Past that, the Stevenson's getting heavier with delays starting at 355, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's fine outbound. Eden's 22 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 31. The Eisenhower, now 49 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, and outbound 36. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, brutal this morning. 36 minutes, 8094 to the merge. I-57 to 28. Northbound Tri-State delays are from Plainfield Road to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
It's a jungle out there. You've neglected the lawn and landscaping. You didn't mean to. It was a busy summer. You had a ton of projects to take care of around the house and barely got half of them finished. Well, there's good news. It's not too late to get your outdoor areas taken care of. Get the professionals that have been beautifying outdoor areas in Chicagoland for over 37 years. Academ Lawn and Garden. Maybe you didn't know fall is a great time to plant your trees, shrubs, and even perennial plants. The temperatures are cooler and it's easier to get established for next year's plants and growing season. Academ Lawn and Garden can get your property in shape so you can enjoy the yard of your dreams after the long Chicago winter. Plus, there's still plenty of time to clean and repair your brick pavers, sidewalks, patio, driveway, and retaining walls. Academ Lawn and Garden designs and installs with Unilock paver products. For yard and landscape maintenance to full-scale landscape design, call the professionals at Academ Lawn and Garden for a fall consultation. 630-961-2521. Online at academlawnandgarden.com. On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Wildfires, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, a crashing economy. Are you ready? At best, your local stores have a 3-day supply of food. Will your family have to fight over what's left? Be wise and be ready with 25-year shelf life Wise Food Storage. Try it free. Order a no-obligation free sample meal, and for a limited time, get a 10% discount and free shipping on all orders. Call for your free sample now. 800-787-1010. 800-787-1010.
It's that time of year. There's going to be a lot that scares you. Replacing your windows shouldn't be one of them. Right now at Feldco, get 2 windows for the price of 1, with no money down and no interest until 2018. Replace your drafty old windows and say goodbye to those high heating bills once and for all. Hurry, 2 windows for the price of 1 ends Halloween. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance, but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, biggie. Dan and Amy, I have to make an apology to all our NASCAR fans. We were talking about Ainsley Earnhardt? Earhart from Fox and Friends. And I made a Dale Earnhardt joke. I referred to him as the Terminator, when he's the Intimidator, of course.
You got to get your NASCAR right.
I'm not much of a NASCAR fan, I admit it, but I did know that, so I apologize to our NASCAR fans. I'm sorry about that. That's more than you get from Howard Dean. He was on MSNBC. He didn't know what the hell he's talking about. I think he's on cocaine since he's throwing that allegation around. So the FBI,
that's right. He said Donald Trump looked like he was on coke.
A bunch of the good doctor. FBI, a bunch of emails released yesterday, a bunch of documents, I should say, released yesterday. 4,500 redactions in those Hillary FBI documents. The FBI releasing these documents to give the appearance of transparency. All kinds of interesting things in there, including the pressure that State Department officials felt against to not mark Clinton emails as classified. IPS, Information Programs and Services, IPS felt immense pressure to complete the review quickly of Hillary emails and not label anything as classified, according to interview notes from a State Department official whose name wasn't disclosed in the FBI summaries that was released. Also, we have the story of FBI agents suggesting that not only did the majority of them want to prosecute Hillary Clinton, believe that was appropriate, that Jim Comey stood in the way, quote unquote, of the Clinton investigation. One FBI agent saying, this again, speaking anonymously, "This is a textbook case where a grand jury should have been convened but was not. This is appalling. We talk about it in the office and don't know how Comey can keep going. We didn't search their house. We always search the house. The search should not have been for private electronics, not just for private electronics, which contain classified material, but even for printouts of such material. There should have been a complete search of their residence. The FBI did not seize. That the FBI did not seize the devices is unbelievable. The FBI even seizes devices that have been set on fire." So real turmoil at FBI. It's the agents speaking out on the condition of anonymity on a number of matters. And then Howard Dean goes on MSNBC, and he's asked about these FBI docs, and he just says, "Putin, Russia, hacking."
This sounds like nothing. Who's saying this? This is nothing. This is the last couple of batches of emails have revealed exactly nothing. Now, who is pushing this notion that this is a quid pro quo in the State Department?
But I just want to make you aware. We've got the WikiLeaks stuff going on, but this new information is because of the notes that were taken during interviews, the release of information, certain redacted portions of conversations between FBI and state, and what it meant with that statement for quid pro quo. The assertion coming from the FBI to state.
So why would anybody suspect that the FBI had done something crooked or criminal?
Well, why would that phrase be used to talk with someone in Hillary Clinton's State Department from the FBI? That's the bigger question.
They're all big questions. I mean, this is nothing. This is somebody made this up. This is innuendo leaked by the Russians for their own political benefit.
No, sir.
Is he that clueless?
What is he talking about? This is FBI documents where they use the term quid pro quo. It's in the notes. This isn't made up. It's not leaked. It's
even the Clinton campaign's saying that
it has nothing to do with the Russians, unless the Russians are in charge of the FBI, according to Howard Dean. This is what we're dealing with, and this is what the left gets away with.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
The following is a paid political announcement.
As Americans, we have many issues to consider this election cycle. But those of us in Cook County also have the big issue of property taxes, which are driving some people out of their homes, their county, and their state.
I'm Dan Patlack, Commissioner of the Cook County Board of Review. I've worked hard to increase access to the appeal process and ensure fair assessments. Last year, more appeals were filed with the board than ever in the history of Cook County or the nation, and the Cook County Board of Review was ready. As the only Republican in a tax system controlled by the other party, I represent balance and someone who will fight for you. With over 20 years of experience in property valuation as a realtor, certified assessing officer, board analyst, township assessor, and commissioner, and with a background fighting unfair taxation and wasteful spending, I want to continue working for fair assessments on your behalf. I'm Dan Patlack, and I ask for your vote.
Dan Patlack, the qualified candidate for Cook County Board of Review. Endorsed by the Chicago Tribune. Visit electpatlack.com. Paid for by citizens for Dan Patlack.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
She is running against Calamity Jan Schakowsky. She is Republican congressional candidate Joan Lasan, and we're going to talk to her at 6:36 about that undercover video featuring Schakowsky's convicted felon husband.
And later, Donald Trump up north in Green Bay. He's taking it to Clinton. We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 69. Winds still gusting out of the southwest at 18 miles an hour. And ComEd reports a couple of thousand power outages throughout the area from about midnight till at this moment because of those heavy gusty winds. Donald Trump's wife says the 2005 recording of him making those lewd comments about women doesn't represent the man she knows.
He was lead on, like egg on, from the host to say dirty and bad stuff.
Melania Trump talking with CNN's Anderson Cooper. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will bet big in Las Vegas in their third and final presidential debate. Donald Trump defending his argument yesterday about a rigged political system, pointing to actual studies by the Pew Research Center.
Approximately 24 million people, 1 of every 8 voter registrations in the United States are no longer valid or significantly inaccurate. 1 in 8.
The 90-minute debate from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas begins at 9 Eastern, 8 Central here on AM 560. The Pentagon says Iraqi forces are ahead of schedule in a fight to drive ISIS from the northern city of Mosul. Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook.
It's the Iraqis in the lead. The Iraqis are at the front, and Americans are providing in their advisory role, but they are behind the forward line of troops.
In other news we're following this morning, the chemical company BASF says 2 are still missing following a huge explosion at its plant in southwest Germany that left 2 others dead and 6 others seriously hurt. Social Security recipients and federal retirees learned this morning if their benefits will increase at all next year. Federal government announcing the cost of living adjustment for 2017. 1 man is dead, 4 others seriously hurt following a shooting on Chicago's south side near Winchester and Marquette. And a windsurfer is safe, rescued from Lake Michigan near Evanston. The man used his cell phone to call for help after his mast broke. Cubs and Dodgers meet in Game 3 of the NLCS tonight in L.A. Indians a win away from a trip to the World Series after a 4-2 win over Toronto. The news, a service of TrueCar. Save time and money by downloading TrueCar's mobile app. Configure the new car you want, see what others paid for it, and get guaranteed savings. TrueCar users save, on average, over $3,000 off MSRP. Save time and money. Download the TrueCar app today. 6:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes Trump scored another win in the second debate.
Okay, Honest Abe never lied. That's the big difference between Abraham Lincoln and you.
I mean, game, set, match. And now CNN tells us that people think she won the debate. Yeah, right. Hillary supporters love that poll. Oh, that poll works. But all the polls that say Donald Trump won, they don't count.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Half price Wing Tuesdays now at B-Dubs. Any size order of traditional wings costs half as much, making Tuesdays twice as good. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Valid at participating locations for a limited time.
This is Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
His company put their trust in Air Comfort to keep their business running cool all summer. Bob knows the value of proper chiller maintenance that includes end-of-season service, so he'll be ready for next summer.
I'm ready.
Dave, on the other hand, thought he could put off servicing his chiller at the end of last season and had 3 complete shutdowns this summer. Needless to say, his staff and customers were not happy. Moral of the story? Preventative maintenance will save you time, money, and trouble. As the hot weather ends, you need maintenance on your chiller before the start of next season. Air Comfort has one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with a dedicated factory-trained chiller department that takes a scientific approach to analyzing your system and determining any needed maintenance. They know how to work on large equipment, perform an analysis of your chiller, and get you ready for next season. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
Hey, have you waited to buy a MyPillow? You're in luck. Right now, when you buy one premium MyPillow, you'll still get the second one for free, baby. But you'll also receive 2 additional Go Anywhere MyPillows for free. So you're actually getting 2 premium and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for the price of only 1. It's the best offer ever. Nearly every AM 560 host endorses MyPillow because it's the best. The National Sleep Foundation agrees because they made it their official pillow. It's washable to remove all the ickies that cause allergies, acne, and asthma, so it's healthy, and you'll sleep better. Visit MyPillow.com. Click the radio listener special tab and use the promo code Joe. You'll get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere for the price of 1. Or you can call 1-800-489-0201, mention the radio listener special, and use the promo code Joe. That's MyPillow.com or 1-800-489-0201.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true, and it's only natural.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
6:38, a quick check of the roads at our AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim.
Northbound I-55 jammed Lockport Road to County Line. There were earlier crashes near 53. Then from the Des Plaines River Bridge to Kedzie, an hour and 3 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, it's 39 minutes. Lead-in's 25 minutes, Lake Hook to the Junction. Outbound, 22. Kennedy, 47 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound, 42. Yike, 55 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound, it's 50. Northbound Tri-State's getting heavy. It's fast traffic. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Partly sunny. Those heavy winds gradually subsiding. High 74. Currently 69 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Got to read this email we got from Bill in Schaumburg about Billy Bush, because we're taking your Billy Bush memories all morning, of course. Billy Bush should be offered a morning zoo radio job. Team him up with Uma's husband. That's right. You'd have Wiener and Bush in the morning.
That is.
I don't.
You know what it is? That's brilliant.
I don't know what is he doing there.
We'll talk about that later.
You tell me. Chart that for me. Wiener. It's pretty good.
But you got to get Ken Bone in there too, because you suggested Bone and Bush.
Yeah.
Earlier, so now it's Bone, Bush, and Wiener.
Yeah. That or a law firm.
They've never lost a case. They've never tried one either. Bone, Bush, and Wiener.
That's pretty good.
We're here for you.
Speaking of wieners, Jan Schakowsky's husband, Bob Creamer, not Wiener, Creamer. I wonder what his nom de plume is online. You know, like Carlos Danger. Or,
I don't think he's with it enough to have an online social media presence.
T-Dog.
Big Cat.
BC Money, maybe. Check Kiter. Bob Creamer, convicted felon, Jan Schakowsky's husband, unearthed by James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, on video, talking about what he and his partner in crime, literally, Scott Foval, field director for Americans United for Change, do to create violence as best they can at Trump events. Here's Foval on the structure.
We were contracted directly with the DNC and the campaign. Both. Yeah. I am contracted to him, but I answer to the head of special events for the DNC and the head of the special events and political for the campaign.
So Creamer contracts Foval, and it's all connected to the DNC, Director of Special Events, the Hillary campaign, Director of Special Events. So this is purposeful, it's orchestrated, it's connected. Here's what Bob Creamer does. He's the black hat.
Wherever Trump and Pence are going to be, we have events.
Okay.
And we have a whole team across the country that does that. Both consultants and people from the Democratic Party and the Democratic Party apparatus and people from the campaign, the Clinton campaign. My role with the campaign is to manage all that.
Bob Creamer went to jail for bank fraud. Jan Schakowsky, not a convicted felon, but probably should be. And we're pleased now to be joined by her congressional opponent on the ballot November 8th. Her name is Joan Lasan. Joan, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys. Hi, Amy. Hi, Dan. Thanks
Hello.
for having me.
Pleasure. So how do you respond to this O'Keefe video that has Jan Schakowsky's husband, in his own words, talking about how he and his partners try to foment confrontation, if not outright violence, at Trump-Pence events?
I'm horrified. I mean, I think every American citizen should absolutely watch this video, and I'm just horrified by what is happening. I mean, it really reminds me of the 30s. You know, Hitler's thugs in the brown shirts and what they were doing in Germany. It's pretty bad. You know, they have right on tape that they are hiring, and they're bragging about it, hiring the mentally ill to do things, hiring the homeless people to incite violence. But our concern here in the ninth is really what Schakowsky's role is in all of this. And we today, on the Dan and Amy show, I'm actually calling on Schakowsky to step down. There is no place for violence in politics in the United States.
So you think that she knows what her husband's doing and maybe even encouraging him to do this bad behavior?
Well, absolutely. And you know what, Amy, on March 11th, when there was the protest for Trump, there was also a protest that Schakowsky was leading, and I was actually there. There was a separate protest at a dinner in downtown Chicago for Governor Rauner. And Schakowsky had recruited protesters with really angry language in an email, which I happen to have in front of me, and I'll read it to you. It says, Donald Trump, Bruce Rauner, and Ted Cruz are going to descend on Chicago to spread their message of intolerance, racism, and hate. And we need to stand up to their disgusting rhetoric and remind them that Chicago won't tolerate the garbage they are spewing. Schakowsky was there. She was the ringleader of this protest. There's pictures of her holding up a big sign that says the Gang of Hate, Trump, Cruz, Rauner.
But now there's a difference between protesting and saying whatever you're going to say, even if it's the unhinged leftist rhetoric of a Calamity Jan Schakowsky, and inciting violence. And it's interesting you're calling for her to step down. I mean, obviously she knows how her husband makes money. I mean, when he's not committing felonies, but maybe he is again. So she knows what he does for a living. I'm sure this doesn't come as any particular surprise to her, but is there any other dots you connect between Jan and this video that was released by James O'Keefe?
Well, as a government official, how can Schakowsky be letting this happen? The first duty of government is to provide security and protection and safety to the citizens. She is an elected official. She knows what's going on. And I encourage all of your listeners, Dan, to go to your Twitter feed, to watch the video, and then they should go to Schakowsky's Facebook and Twitter, and they need to ask her to explain her knowledge of instigating this violence right here in Chicago. She was putting people's lives in danger. Congress is supposed to be leading by example.
I mean, it is nasty.
And
I mean, her husband's inciting violence. That's what I took away from watching those undercover tapes.
Yes, her husband definitely is. But what is Schakowsky's part in it? What is Schakowsky's part?
She's got it.
I'm already hearing from people in our district, concerned citizens. They think that, this is the group that Schakowsky is associated with feels that they're above the law. So once again, we have laws that the average citizen must follow, and then we have a different set of laws for our political ruling class, which Schakowsky has been a part of for the last quarter of a century.
Do you think this is worthy of a criminal investigation as well? As a potential member of Congress, would you be supportive of the idea that, whether it's local or federal law enforcement, this should be looked into?
Absolutely. Law enforcement should be on this fast. Inciting violence is criminal. And when you coordinate with campaigns with independent groups, it's illegal. So I say, where's the FEC? Where's the Justice Department? Where's the Attorney General? Where's the state's attorney? This cannot be swept under the rug until after the election.
Now, are you going to have any debates, or have you had any debates with Jan Schakowsky?
I have been with Schakowsky 6 times, and a number of them were forums. We can't really debate because we can't really say anything. So yes, I was actually with her last Saturday at the League of Women Voters, right here in the village of Wilmette.
Do you have any other opportunities coming up in the closing 3 weeks here in light of this video to perhaps have a discussion in a public forum with Calamity Jan, as I like to call it?
Absolutely. I am calling on Schakowsky to step down. There is no place for violence in politics in the United States. She is a congresswoman. She should be leading by example, and she has forfeited her suitability for this office. So we will be having a press conference, and of course we will invite her. We invite her everywhere, but she never comes. She's usually in D.C. But she was a ringleader of one of these protests, and we believe that she knows exactly what her husband is doing, and she's breaking the law.
All right.
People are tired of it.
All right. She is Republican candidate for Congress in the 9th District, running against Calamity Jan Schakowsky, calling on Schakowsky to step down in light of the video by Project Veritas that features, among others, Jan Schakowsky's convicted felon husband, Bob Creamer. Joan Lassonde, thanks so much for joining. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, and I called for her to step down right here on your show. You get the breaking news.
We appreciate that. And the website is joanforcongress.com if you want more information about Joan Lassonde and her candidacy, joanforcongress.com. Joan, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right. Ciao.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Partly sunny today. Winds will be dying down by this afternoon. A high of 74 degrees tonight, clear and breezy, a low of 50. And for tomorrow, we're going to have some clouds and sun, a high of 69 degrees. Just another pleasant day. Is there anything pleasant on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
I've got our own traffic calamity on the inbound Kennedy, Amy and Dan. It's a stalled pickup truck near Fullerton blocking a lane, so it is jammed now from well before O'Hare into Fullerton, where that truck is. It's an hour and 3 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 33 minutes from Montrose, 18 in the Express. Outbound 48 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 32 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 22. The Eisenhower's 58 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 43 from Manheim. Outbound now an hour to Thorndale. There's a crash at Wolf Road on the right shoulder. On Stevenson, delays actually start at Lockport Road after earlier crashes. An hour and 3 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 45 minutes. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State stop and go, 115th to 31st. From the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve, Veterans Memorial, heavy bout into the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Manufacturing rose slightly last month, but remains flat overall. Save-A-Lot supermarkets being sold. Macy's to open earlier on Thanksgiving. Those stories next.
Bill Bennett here to tell you about Augusta Precious Metals. The stock market crash of 2008 wiped out as much as 50% of IRA or 401k accounts. Can you afford to lose again if the next crash comes? What if you could store your IRA or 401k where you can see, touch, and hold it in your hands? Well, with the Augusta Gold and Silver IRA, you can transfer retirement savings into physical coins and store them where you can actually hold them in your hands, where you can get your gold fast in a disaster. Call Augusta Precious Metals today at 855-222-6993 and receive a free Gold and Silver IRA guide. There is no obligation. It's rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Augusta Precious Metals enjoys a 98% 5-star customer satisfaction rating with TrustLink.org. Trust Augusta. Call Augusta Precious Metals today at 855-222-6993. That's 855-222-6993. 855-222-6993.
Manufacturers boosting production modestly in September. The Fed says factory production rose 0.2%, led by a rise in construction supplies, autos, and petroleum products. Even with that gain, however, manufacturing output has been flat over the past year. SuperValue is selling its Save-A-Lot supermarket chain for $1.4 billion, selling to a Canadian private equity firm. There are more than 1,300 Save-A-Lot grocery stores around the United States. Macy's staying committed to Thanksgiving Day shopping. It will open an hour earlier this year, in fact. Macy's plans to open at 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving, close at 2 a.m., and reopen 5 a.m. Friday. Macy's has been open on Thanksgiving since 2013, but remained open throughout the night. Please tune in to Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Dan Proft here. Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol numbers, but do you know your testosterone number? Yeah, your testosterone number. I know mine, thanks to my friends at Low T Center. Low T Center made it easy for me. I walked in, took a simple blood test, and thanks to the convenience of their on-site lab, got my testosterone results in just 20 minutes. Voila. It was easy. Hey, if you've noticed a decline in energy, stamina, lack of motivation, or just a down mood as you've gotten older, you may very well have low testosterone. Low T levels can make you feel grumpy and tired. They can even raise your cholesterol or cause weight gain. At Low T Center, treatment is covered by most health insurance, so don't hesitate to find out what your number is. I'm sure glad I did. You owe it to yourself to call 630-409-4305. That number again, 630-409-4305. Give my friends at Low T Center a call and tell them Dan Proft sent you. That's me. The number 630-409-4305, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
No matter what type of business you're in, having a strong business banking partnership can help your bottom line. I'm Jeff Boundy, president of Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company. We strongly believe that trust, service, and relationship are the cornerstone of a successful business banking partnership. Customers like Rick Williams of Pump Supply agree.
Hi, my name is Rick Williams, owner of Pump Supply Incorporated.
As a business owner, I recognize the importance of relationships. I need a bank that understands my business and is able to respond quickly and creatively to the needs of my company. Cornerstone has been a valuable business partner and has helped me grow my company and seize opportunities as I come across them. Whether it's providing a line of credit or financing the acquisition of equipment or real estate, Cornerstone has been there for me every step of the way.
Thanks, Rick. Please visit cornerstonenb.com, or I invite you to give me a call at 847-654-3000 to explore a business banking partnership.
Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity. Per the WikiLeaks emails of Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, we confirm that, paraphrasing football coach Dennis Green, Hillary and her Bund are who we thought they were. The emails verify the bigot baiters are the bigots. A Catholic woman who takes her faith seriously is a contemptible shill for dictatorship. The state is the church. Hillary is its high priestess. You shall genuflect. The emails confirm the Departments of Justice and State to be Hillary campaign appendages. Unprofessional, extra-legal contact was not limited to Bill Clinton and AG Loretta Lynch. While FBI Director Comey was doing his best Inspector Clouseau routine, Hillary's plumbers were busy gaming the investigation and subverting the public's right to know. The emails corroborate the D.C. press corps' collusion. Editors coordinate the timing of op-eds for maximum exposure. Reporters give Hillary veto power over quotes, and cable network pundits slip her debate questions in advance. Mostly the emails establish the big government, big media complex to be full of venal intellectual lightweights who do indeed find everyone outside of it unredeemable. The Herculean task to clean out the ruling class's Augean stables needs a beginning. November 8th is it.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
If you're serious about selling your home, now is the time. Supply is low, and it's a great seller's market in many Chicagoland neighborhoods. I've done the research, and along with my Salem Radio colleagues, Mike Gallagher and Michael Medved, we all recommend that you call Saul. Saul Z and the Z team are so good that if they don't sell your home in 59 days, they'll sell it for free, guaranteed. Saul is ranked 106 out of 1.2 million agents by the Wall Street Journal. His proven marketing system is so effective that he sells on average a home every single day, attracting multiple full-price offers. That demand helps sell your home fast and at the highest price. It's a no-brainer. If I were selling a home in Chicagoland, I'd call Saul. Go online to callsaul.net or call Saul now at 888-346-0666. That's callsaul, S-A-U-L.net, or 888-346-0666. You'd better call Saul.
I just love CertaPro painters. You know, they've been to our home twice now, painted our chipped front porch and my son's bedrooms. Sharp lines, vibrant colors. And you know, fall is right around the corner, the season of colors, so now is the perfect time to update your home. Whether it's a bold new warm color for the dining room or a fresh take on your home's exterior, call CertaPro painters to transform and protect your home before cold weather arrives. Plus, the holidays will be here before you know it. So now is the perfect time to give your home that updated look you've been wanting. Call now to schedule your fall painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA. I trust CertaPro painters in my home. They were nice guys. They cleaned up after themselves. There wasn't a single drop of paint anywhere except on my beautiful walls. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated, so you'll feel confident knowing that these are local business owners who are part of your community. Call now for your free fall painting estimate at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's 1-800-GOCERTA. Or visit CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Lately, it seems you're not feeling quite right. As if your body is working against you. Dr. Amy and Associates can help create a path to achieve optimal health. Experience personalized health care for your mind, body, and spirit at a practice that blends holistic and traditional medicine.
I was involved in a devastating head-on motorcycle accident, which left me broken, battered, and afraid. I turned to Dr. Amy and Associates to care for my broken body. With their help, I healed quickly. I was able to sleep, and the nightmares stopped. I was able to get back on the motorcycle without fear. Since they worked with my insurance, I've used them for allergy and food sensitivity testing, weight loss, massage, acupuncture, and life coaching. They use both Eastern and Western medicine and is a holistic practice like no other. I am so grateful for Dr. Amy and Associates.
Call Dr. Amy and Associates to experience a whole-person integrative approach to health and wellness. 630-980-1400 or visit dramyandassociates.com. Dr. Amy and Associates, empowering people, changing lives.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Will Billy Bush possibly be Trump's press secretary? We'll ask Jeffrey Lord, a CNN commentator and Trump surrogate, at 7:07.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning to the one and only Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, we have Governor Rauner signing executive orders to cut down on red tape. AM 560's Dave Stewart with the latest on Rauner using his executive pen to do what he says is clearing the way for small businesses in the state. Cubs clash with the Dodgers in Game 3. A windsurfer rescued from Lake Michigan near Evanston. Alsip woman is charged with a hate crime. And Orkin names Chicago the rattiest city once again. Hornets outlast the Bulls in overtime as the Blackhawks host the Flyers tonight. Partly sunny day ahead with winds gradually subsiding. Full forecast after Fox, WIND, Chicago News Time, 7.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. The election is in 3 weeks.
It is time to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
Donald Trump in Wisconsin last night vowing to clean up corruption as he keeps claiming there's voter fraud and the media is for Hillary Clinton, while the State Department denies a new allegation coming out of Clinton's email controversy. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, newly released documents from the FBI show an agent believed the State Department tried to cut a deal to get the agency to change the classification of an email in the Secretary of State's private server. Spokesman John Kennedy told Fox News there was no quid pro quo.
It's a summary of an interview with one FBI employee who gave these views. We looked into this, the FBI looked into this, and it's just not true.
Donald Trump and some Republicans are calling for the firing of Undersecretary for Management Patrick Kennedy. Dave.
Rachel Trump will campaign in Colorado today. He continues to shoot down allegations from numerous women of harassment or groping.
These were bogus charges. These were lies. These were fabrications.
His wife calls the now infamous video of him making crude remarks about women offensive, but Melania Trump tells Fox and Friends.
I accept his apology, and we are moving on.
Now, Hillary Clinton will not be campaigning again today, getting ready for tomorrow night's debate on Fox News Channel. She's spending money now in states Democrats don't typically win: Arizona, Indiana, and Missouri. Flames have chased people from their homes in Colorado.
Bought a house 6 months ago and moved in 3 months ago, and hopefully we still have a house when we get up.
His family and about 150 others have fled a fast-growing wildfire approaching their homes in Custer County. It's charred 21 square miles and burned one house down along with 3 other buildings. Russia has stopped bombing Aleppo for now, and Syrian airstrikes around the rebel-held city have also been put on hold ahead of Thursday's window for those rebels and civilians to leave the area, though activists claim there were more airstrikes today. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
69 degrees. This morning we have mostly cloudy skies. At 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 1 man is dead, 4 others seriously hurt following a shooting on Chicago's South Side. It happened overnight near Winchester and Marquette. Governor Bruce Rauner says he's creating a new council that will review state agency rules and regulations. AM 560's David Stewart says the goal is to reduce red tape.
Governor Rauner says the state government is saddled with thousands of outdated and unnecessary regulations. He says a new group, the Illinois Competitiveness Council, will dig deep into state agencies to see what can be eliminated.
Many of these rules and regulations are well-intentioned, but they have unintended consequences that actually do more damage than good. And unfortunately, some of the other regulations are not that well-intentioned. They're designed to protect a certain group from competition from others.
Rauner says the council's goal is to save Illinoisans at least $250 million in license fee costs over the next decade. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
A windsurfer is safe after he was rescued from Lake Michigan in Evanston. The man used his cell phone to call for help after a mast broke and the Coast Guard was able to respond. A man in federal custody in Chicago being linked to a failed bombing of a small-town police station in northern Colorado. FBI agents arrested 64-year-old David Ansberry of California over the weekend in Chicago. He's suspected of leaving a homemade explosive device outside that police station. There is a memorial service planned at Eastern Illinois University for a local student who died in a fraternity house. According to the Mattoon Journal-Gazette, 19-year-old Tyler Benke died back on October 10th at the Pi Kappa Alpha chapter house on campus. The Coles County coroner says he's waiting for results of toxicology testing to determine a cause of death. He's not suspecting foul play. The memorial set for 7 p.m. Wednesday for the sophomore from Oswego who is studying business. Cubs and Dodgers meet in Game 3 of the NLCS tonight in L.A. Indians a win away from the World Series. They beat the Blue Jays 4-2 last night in Toronto, and the Hornets beat the Bulls in preseason overtime, 108-104. The news is a service of Staples. Staples now has low prices on ink, toner, and printers, and the redesigned lightning-fast HP Office Jet Pro is now at Staples. You can save up to $100 for a limited time. See store or staples.com for details. Restrictions and limitations may apply. Staples, make more happen. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Debate number 2 got personal.
Bill Clinton was abusive to women.
Real personal.
We've seen him embarrass women.
So will the third and final debate be more of the same? Will Hillary continue the assault on Trump's personal life?
I know you're into big diversion tonight.
And will Trump point his sights again on Hillary's mounting email scandal?
There has never been so many lies.
Join us for the final debate, Trump-Clinton, Wednesday. Pre-debate coverage begins with Joe Walsh, starting at 5. Hear the debate at 8 on AM 560. The Answer.
These days, you gotta have a side hustle. And I'm not talking about a 9-to-5. I'm talking about driving with Uber. It's the ultimate side hustle. You wanna earn extra money? Drive with Uber. Have a few spare hours here and there? Drive with Uber. You like the idea of being your own boss? Drive with Uber. You'd make a great boss. You're probably driving right now. You should be earning. If you want your car to start making you money, then visit uber.com/drive now and get your side hustle on today. That's uber.com/drive now.
You're listening to the sound of an actual heart beating outside of a human body. Thanks to modern technology, a doctor can now keep a donor heart beating until it's ready to be transplanted into its recipient. Yet if our doctor wanted to transfer a phone call from her desk phone to her cell, she couldn't, because her phone system can't do that. At Vonage, we think it's about time business communications caught up. See what Vonage can do for your business at Vonage.com/it'sabout-time.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560 Traffic Center time. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. And Round Lake 60 is closed between Cedar Lake Road east to Christina due to a rollover crash. The Edens is 34 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose outbound 23. Inbound Kennedy jammed all the way to Fullerton. There was a stall and then crash. All cleared now, but it's an hour and 11 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 36 minutes from Montrose, 20 in the Express. Outbound 37 minutes to Montrose, 58 to the airport. The Eisenhower, 1 hour. Thorndale to the Loop. And outbound, it's even heavier with a crash at Wolf Road that just cleared. An hour to Manheim, an hour 14 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 43 minutes. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic service of American Express. Hey, American Express card members, you don't want to miss this. Now through December 31st, there's a big reason for you to shop small at local stores in your neighborhood. Learn more and enroll your eligible card today at americanexpress.com/shop-small-offer. Terms apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny with winds gradually subsiding, high 74. Tonight, mainly clear and breezy with a low 50. Then tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a high of 69. Mostly cloudy with a passing shower tomorrow night, low 52. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
69 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fox River Periodontics, Chicagoland specialist with dental implants. To get your smile back, visit implantsforme.com.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
So that's part of the process of eliciting the reaction. The whole point of it is we know that townspeople will freak the out.
It looks to me like a rigged election.
A totally rigged election.
It's a rigged election.
This is a rigged system, folks.
I think when most Americans hear that an election's rigged, they think of government action to rig the election. And there, Mr. Trump has a point if he would just make it more clearly.
It is pitchfork and torches time in America.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Trump is continuing with his line of argumentation that the election is rigged. Apparently, 41% of voters agree with him. This according to a Politico Morning Consult poll. 73% of Republicans think the election could be swiped from him. Just 17% of Democrats agree, but that translates to 41% overall. 73% of Republicans. That's a big number. And there's two lines of argumentation with respect to the contention the election is rigged. One is at the ballot box, at the precinct level. The other, and this was the argument that Newt Gingrich made over the weekend, we discussed yesterday in part, that it's the media. And oh, by the way, the WikiLeaks Podesta emails are giving us a lot more evidence on the media piece of it. This is a fun one. Glenn Thrush, political reporter for Politico, email to the Hillary campaign, basically calling himself a hack and saying he'll give them approval for his articles, give them veto power over his articles. He's supposed to be a political journalist. He writes, this is Glenn Thrush talking about himself. Because I've become a hack, I will send you the whole section that pertains to you. Please don't share or tell anyone I did this. Tell me if I effed anything up. That's Glenn Thrush writing to John Podesta, Hillary's campaign chairman, and he's supposed to be a political reporter. So that's the media piece of it. Then there's the at the ballot box piece of it.
Because last night while Donald Trump was in Green Bay, he urged his supporters to patrol election polls to make sure there was nothing nefarious going on. And he gave some details about this, American elections being rigged.
They even want to try to rig the election at the polling booths. And believe me, there's a lot going on. Do you ever hear these people? They say there's nothing going on. People that have died 10 years ago are still voting. Illegal immigrants are voting. I mean, where are the street smarts of some of these politicians? They don't have any, is right.
Yeah, and it is a serious issue. And as it pertains to people that are not eligible to vote, there have been studies on the past several cycles, the percentage of persons that are here illegally who voted. And it's a small percentage, but a small percentage makes a big difference in close contests. You're talking about, even if it's a couple of percentage points, you're disenfranchising thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Americans. And that's a serious matter. And it's something even that never Trumpers like George Will picked up on. George Will talking about that very same issue on Fox yesterday.
I think when most Americans hear that an election's rigged, they think of government action to rig the election. And there, Mr. Trump has a point if he would just make it more clearly. It is hard to think of an innocent reason why Democrats spend so much time, energy, and money, scarce resources all, resisting attempts to purge the voter rolls, that is, to remove people who are dead or otherwise have left the jurisdiction. It's hard to think of an innocent reason why they fight so tremendously against voter ID laws. They say, well, that burdens the exercise of a fundamental right. The Supreme Court has said that travel is a fundamental right. No one thinks that showing an ID at the airport burdens that fundamental right.
Yeah, that's a good point he makes. And in Illinois, we have something that no other state has. You want to talk about rigged elections. Same-day voter registration at the polling places in the 20 most populous counties in Illinois, but not at the other 82 counties in Illinois, because the 20 most populous counties are disproportionately benefit the Democrats, and the other 80 counties disproportionately benefit the Republicans. So the Democrats in charge of the General Assembly cook the process to their advantage. So the idea of elections being rigged or certainly slanted in the favor of the big government, big media Democrats, redundant synonyms, that's not new, and there is a legitimate point to it. And for more on this and other matters related to the presidential election, we're pleased to be joined again by Jeffrey Lord. He is a CNN commentator, contributing editor to the American Spectator, and a former aide to both Jack Kemp and Ronald Reagan. Jeffrey, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Good. So what about this line of argumentation that Trump has really picked up in terms of frequency the last several days that the election is rigged?
8 years ago, I wrote an article for the American Spectator, which you can still find online, titled Stealing Pennsylvania, Massive Fraud. And in this, I had attended a press conference in the state capitol here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, with a retired Supreme Court justice the local district attorney, and the Republican state chairman. They went through chapter and verse, and I'll just give you one example. There were something like 285,000 new registered voters in Philadelphia County, meaning the city of Philadelphia. Of those, something like, and they were submitted by the Acorn, if you remember Acorn, and some other groups. Of those, something like 52 to 57,000 of them were found to be fraudulent, with fake Social Security numbers, IDs. I mean, the works. They were total frauds. This is a problem, they said at that point, in 6 different counties in Pennsylvania, ranging from Philadelphia in the southeast all the way to Erie in the northwest. So certainly, this is a problem. And, you're in Chicago. I decades ago, I met former President Richard Nixon and had a chance to talk with him for quite a while. And I think it's safe to say that Richard Nixon went to his grave thinking he was cheated out of the presidency in 1960 by Mayor Daley.
Yeah,
and
a lot of historians agree with that as well. And also, I mean, you point out Pennsylvania. That turns out to be mission critical in this election because Trump's kind of best chance to get to 270 necessarily includes winning Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean, he is here a lot, and so, frankly, is Hillary Clinton. President Obama the other week was in Philadelphia, and, Philadelphia is not going to vote for Donald Trump. But the question always in statewide races is the size of the margin and the turnout in Philadelphia versus the rest of the state.
Right.
So when you realize that there is President Obama himself campaigning for Hillary in Philadelphia, what that tells you is they are concerned about her, enthusiasm for her and turnout, and whether it's going to be depressed just because you've got a lot of Democrats out there in Philadelphia that aren't all that enthusiastic about her as they were about President Obama himself. So, yes, it could be entirely close here. I mean, I think we've seen polls that have her up here anywhere between 4 to 8 points. I've been to a couple of Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rallies. Wow, tens of thousands of people inside, and then thousands more that can't get in. And her rallies, on the other hand, are, one account in the press said the last time she was in Harrisburg, there were hundreds there. She goes to smaller venues. I mean, the crowds just aren't there. So the question is, of course, will these people show up and vote? I think they will. I mean, they're pretty passionate when you talk to them. They're pretty determined.
So, Jeffrey, many people think, or mainstream media, I heard yesterday, that this is, Donald Trump's allegations of voter fraud as a way to fire up his base, or maybe an excuse in case he loses. And they pointed out Loyola Law in Los Angeles, where they said there's only been 31 incidents nationwide of voter fraud out of 1 billion votes cast.
Well, I couldn't quite hear you because I'm in an airport, but the essence is, it all depends where these votes are. I mean, let's remember that in Florida in 2000, George W. Bush won, and of course my Democratic friends would say he didn't win, but his margin of victory was 537 votes. These elections can be excruciating close in some respects, and so this becomes very, very relevant. I mean, if for example, there were this massive Hillary tidal wave sweeping the country, which I don't think is there, then perhaps you could say it wouldn't make a difference. But in a close election, as we saw in 2000 and in 1960, it absolutely can make a difference.
Will the video that was released by James O'Keefe last night, or yesterday, actually mid-morning, will that make a difference? The video, of course, showing professional left political operatives Bob Creamer and Scott Foval,
right? Exactly,
bragging about how their job, they're paid and they're coordinated with the DNC and the Hillary campaign to incite violence at Trump rallies.
I think it could. One of the interesting things, and I was listening to James O'Keefe, who was responsible for all of this investigation, discuss this yesterday. We talk about the media generally, by which we mean, CNN and NBC, CBS, et cetera, et cetera. His point is that social media is overtaking the mainstream media. And I think in the world of social media, where this is going to be circulating like wildfire, it will go viral, as they say. I think this could really make an impact here because, I remember earlier this year arguing on CNN when they were talking about violence at Trump rallies. I said, without knowing what we now know here from James O'Keefe, that the American left has a habit of instigating violence, and they do it for a reason, and they've been doing it, throughout the last 100 years or so. I mean, this is their thing. So I'm not in the least surprised to see how organized they are about it. And, this really does remind me of Watergate. And for those of us old enough to remember it, Richard Nixon had a group that they called the Plumbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they broke into Daniel Ellsberg's psychiatrist's office, which was completely illegal. And they were running around America doing all sorts of dirty tricks. That's, in essence, what these people are doing. And if there are ties to the White House, which O'Keefe says there are, I'd like to find out who in the White House they're talking to. This could be a very big deal.
The Plumbers are child's play compared to what we've got going on now.
That is exactly right.
He's Jeffrey Lord, CNN commentator, contributing editor to the American Spectator. Check out that article he referenced, Stealing Pennsylvania, former aide to Kemp and Reagan. Jeffrey, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you. Bye-bye.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
So do you think the election could be rigged? Taking your calls next. 312-642-5600 is our Turnkey.pro answer line. Weather for today, it's going to be partly sunny, windy right now, gusts up to 25 miles per hour, but it's going to gradually subside during the day. A pleasant high of 74 degrees tonight. No need to turn on the AC. Just open up the windows, a low of 50. And tomorrow, partly sunny skies, a high of 69. Let's get those travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Pretty rough on the inbound Kennedy after an earlier crash at Fullerton. It is an hour and 15 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Just 28 minutes from Montrose, 22 in the Express. Outbound 54 to O'Hare. The Eden's 41 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 28. The Eisenhower's an hour. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound an hour 14. Jammed Coster to Wolf after a crash. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 43 minutes. The Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State jammed, 111th to 31st. Then from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway delays. The Elgin Toll to 31, 25 to Beverly, and Higgins to Barrington Road. Veterans Memorial really slow from I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt. Then from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Eastbound I-80 stop and go LaGrange Road to 183rd. Reports of a person on the roadway there. Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hey, have you waited to buy a MyPillow? Well, you're in luck. For this month only, when you buy one premium MyPillow, you still get the second for free. That's awesome. But you'll also receive my favorite 2 additional Go Anywhere MyPillows. Pack them with you, sleep with it in the car. My dog loves my Go Anywhere pillow. So you're actually getting 2 premium and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for the price of just one. It is their best offer ever. You know, nearly every AM 560 host endorses MyPillow because it is the best. The National Sleep Foundation agrees, and they made it their official pillow. I love it because it's washable, too, to remove all the sweat and ickies that cause allergies and acne and asthma. So it's a great health investment, and you'll sleep better, too. I guarantee it. I know I do. And if you're not satisfied within 60 days, guess what? A full money-back guarantee. So here's what you do. You visit MyPillow.com. You're going to click on the radio listener special tab and use the promo code Amy. You'll get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows for the price of one, or call 800-489-0201. Mention the radio listener special and use the promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com or 800-489-0201.
When it comes to commercial vehicles, it's time to drill down to the details. If you're not driving the new Sprinter Worker from Mercedes-Benz, your van just isn't cutting it. The Sprinter Worker takes payload up a notch, carrying up to 3,512 pounds. Its cargo volume is cranked up too, with over 300 cubic feet of space. When it comes to safety, it's unmatched, but it's the price that'll really hammer it home. The new Sprinter Worker starts at just $32,495. It also has a service interval of up to 20,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. Put that in your pipe and weld it. Huge capacity, small price, starting at just $32,495. The all-new Sprinter Worker, starting at only $32,495. Mercedes-Benz, vans born to run.
MSRP for a 2016 Sprinter Worker excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Did you know 40% of all cancer could be prevented? That's a fact. Along with maintaining appropriate body weight and regular exercise, the American Institute for Cancer Research and the USDA confirm that eating 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is the key. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? How many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Hey, Dan Proft here. Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol numbers, but do you know your testosterone number? Yeah, your testosterone number. I know my number thanks to my friends at Low T Center. Low T Center made it so easy for me. I walked in, I took a simple blood test, and thanks to the convenience of their on-site lab, I got my testosterone results in just 20 minutes. Voila, how easy. Hey, if you've noticed a decline in energy and stamina, a lack of motivation, or just a down mood as you've gotten older, you may very well have low testosterone. Low T levels can make you feel grumpy and tired. They can even raise your cholesterol or cause weight gain. At Low T Center, treatment is covered by most health insurance, so don't hesitate to find out what your number is. I'm sure glad I did. You owe it to yourself to call 630-409-4305. That number again, 630-409-4305. Give my friends at Low T Center a call and tell them Dan Proft sent you. Call 630-409-4305 or go to lowtcenter.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we were talking with Jeffrey Lord about the election being rigged with the prospect of voter fraud, particularly as it relates to persons not eligible to voting, starting with illegal immigrants. And I mentioned a study, and I want to give the citation to it so you can disagree or agree with the conclusions or the methodology, but at least you'll have a citation to share. This is a December 2014 issue of Electoral Studies. Two political science professors at Old Dominion University, the Monarchs, did a look, and they found that 14% of non-citizens in 2008 and 2010 reported being registered to vote. They concluded our best guess, based on extrapolations from the portion of the sample with a verified vote, is that 6.4% of non-citizens voted in 2008 and 2.2% of non-citizens voted in 2010. So 6.4% in the 2008 presidential election of non-citizens voted. Does that matter? Yeah, you're damn right it matters. That's a real issue.
Yeah, there's a great article, too, in the Washington Times where they prove 10 cases where it is real and it is happening. And dead people voting, people underage voting, and illegals voting.
Let's go to Joe on the South Side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, love your show.
Thanks, Joe.
Listen, I've been a Republican judge, and in the class, they've asked, there's about 20 of us in the class that they give you to learn how to work the machines. And maybe 3 or 4 of us out of the whole class were actually Republicans.
Yeah.
So I've taken it upon myself every time I go to the polling place, ask the Republican judge if they're actually a Republican. 9 times out of 10, they're not. They give me one of 2 answers. Either, no, I'm not, or I can't answer that.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Joe. You're highlighting a real issue in Chicago, and I'm sure elsewhere, that there's been a failure by the Republican Party to properly staff polling places with election judges and other personnel, poll watchers and the like, so as to guard against voter fraud, so you don't have one party running the election at the local level. That is an absolutely real issue. It's been an absolute failure of the Republican Party in Chicago and Illinois for many, many years. Larry in South Holland, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Danny. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey.
I mean, what's funny about this is, in the primary,
Republicans knew Donald Trump was a bad candidate. Now that the reality has hit that he is a bad candidate, he's going to lose. He's whining. He's trying to make excuses. I would really be glad when this is over. Hillary was president, and we won't have to listen to Donald Trump whining like a little girl anymore.
All right. Thanks, Larry. I don't think you'll be so happy when Hillary's president, though. Sean in Elmwood Park.
First of all, you have a system built on trust of the least trustworthy among us. These self-aggrandizing scoundrels, it's like watching a contest at a rigged town. And the winner is. And we all wait there with bated breath. You can't audit it. It's rigged. Secondly, how do you punish Jan Schakowsky's husband, for God's sake? He's married to Jan Schakowsky. He's seen her naked. How are you possibly going to punish this guy? Your sentence is to live with the scarecrow, and you have to watch her go back and forth from the shower naked. Ta-da!
Thanks, Sean.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17% may not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees.
Register today for Alpha Wealth's workshop titled The Truth About Mutual Funds, Saturday, October 22nd, 10 a.m. in Oak Brook. Call 630-519-4742. Space is limited, so call now, 630-519-4742. 630-519-4742. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Are there any members of the Chicago City Council that don't belong in jail? We'll ask Faisal Khan, former Inspector General of the Chicago City Council, at 7:37.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, still some power outages this morning across the Chicagoland area. ComEd says because of the high winds, they're working on those outages. The National League Championship Series resumes tonight, Game 3 in Los Angeles. Cubs have had a bit of a power outage in their series with the Dodgers, tied at a game each tonight. Power arm Jake Arrieta goes to the mound and says it's good to be able to draw from the past couple of years of experience.
Having a past experience of pitching in postseason games and in big games, really helps us moving forward. Obviously, the emotions that are involved in games like this at times can be hard to deal with. But when you've been in these situations before, it makes it a lot easier.
Los Angeles sending ex-Cub Rich Hill to the mound. Donald Trump says documents the FBI released are another example of how Hillary Clinton ran a corrupt State Department.
More than 1.8 million deceased individuals right now are listed as voters. Oh, that's wonderful.
Trump saying documents show that a State Department official attempted a quid pro quo deal with the FBI to declassify one of Clinton's emails. A Virginia man faces up to 20 years in prison after pleading guilty yesterday to attempting to support ISIS by suggesting Washington, D.C. area sites to target in terror attacks. Court documents show the FBI learned of a series of posts on Twitter linked to 25-year-old Harris Kumar's Twitter account. One man is dead, 4 others are seriously hurt. It happened in a shooting overnight on Chicago's South Side near Winchester and Marquette. 2 of Illinois' largest newspapers are splitting their endorsements for U.S. Senate. The Daily Herald backing Republican Mark Kirk, the Sun-Times endorsing Tammy Duckworth. And an Illinois man was killed in a weekend motorcycle crash in Wisconsin. Walworth County sheriffs say 57-year-old Timothy Adkins of McHenry lost control of his motorcycle when he struck a second bike on a curve Saturday afternoon. Cubs and Dodgers meet tonight. Indians a win away from a trip to the World Series after a 4-2 Game 3 win over the Blue Jays. Hornets beat the Bulls in OT, 108-104, and the Blackhawks battle the Flyers at the UC tonight. The news, a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on ink and toner and printers. The redesigned lightning-fast HP Office Jet Pro is now at Staples. and you can save up to $100 for a limited time. See store or staples.com for details. Restrictions and limitations may apply. Staples, make more happen. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes it's time to compromise.
So you can't align yourself with people who have some odious aspects to their personal life. This is the rule now from the right. One of the reasons that they win and we don't. They align themselves with anybody and march on in the crushing of America as America. But you will do it in good conscience.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, now on DVD and digital HD, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party, exposes the Democratic Party's hidden past and follows the controversial rise of presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. Hillary's America, own it today on DVD and digital HD. And AM 560, The Answer, is giving away 10 DVD copies of Hillary's America through the mobile app. So download or visit our app now to register for your chance to win.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. Tammy wanted to contact a realtor before purchasing a home in Buffalo Grove. Bad move. Not getting pre-qualified by me before talking to a realtor is like serving a bacon double cheeseburger to a rabbi. Not kosher. I pre-qualified Tammy to purchase a home and introduced her to Gary Ellis, my preferred Buffalo Grove realtor. If you're purchasing a home, call me first. I'll pre-qualify you for free and introduce you to my experienced team of preferred realtors who will help you locate the perfect home. My team of real estate experts will always look out for your financial best interest. If you're buying a home, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License D4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
When it comes to commercial vehicles, it's time to drill down to the details. If you're not driving the new Sprinter Worker from Mercedes-Benz, your van just isn't cutting it. The Sprinter Worker takes payload up a notch, carrying up to 3,512 pounds. Its cargo volume is cranked up too, with over 300 cubic feet of space. When it comes to safety, it's unmatched, but it's the price that'll really hammer it home. The new Sprinter Worker starts at just $32,495. It also has a service interval of up to 20,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. Put that in your pipe and weld it. Huge capacity, small price, starting at just $32,495. The all-new Sprinter Worker, starting at only $32,495. Mercedes-Benz, vans born to run.
MSRP for a 2016 Sprinter Worker excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
No matter what type of business you're in, having a strong business banking partnership can help your bottom line. I'm Jeff Boundy, president of Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company. We strongly believe that trust, service, and relationship are the cornerstone of a successful business banking partnership. Customers like Robert Weissite of Robert C. Weissite Company agree.
I appreciate the depth of experience my Cornerstone banker brings to the table. Last June, we located a building we wanted to buy for expansion. My Cornerstone banker walked me through everything I could expect to face in advance, from the letter of intent all the way through the day of closing. It went very smooth and predictably and with low stress. He had been through this type of transaction many times, and his years of experience helped me make my purchasing experience predictable, efficient, and successful.
Thanks, Bob. Please visit cornerstonenb.com, or I invite you to give me a call at 847-654-3000 to explore a business banking partnership.
Equal Opportunity Lender, member FDIC.
7:38. It is time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Check the roads, AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim.
Like the inbound Edens is 40 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 33. The Kennedy, an hour and 12 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 30 minutes from Montrose, and 24 in the Express. Outbound 51 to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour 19. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound an hour and 5 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 46 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State slow, 115th to 31st. And from the Reagan to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial jammed. I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt. The Army Trail toll to 290. Traffic is service of Accountemps. You know what you should be making? Visit accountemps.com/salary center to see salaries for more than 400 accounting and finance salaries where you live. It's your go-to source for accounting and finance salary information. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. That's traffic. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Winds will gradually subside. Partly sunny skies expected with a high of 74. Currently, we have 68 degrees. Your next news update is at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Radio Garden Sense, a show bringing your property's gardening needs alive. Radio Garden Sense, Sunday mornings at 11 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're going to talk to Faisal Khan. He's the former Chicago City Council Legislative Inspector General and the current head of a government accountability group called Project 6. But quickly, I want to get a couple of other. We were talking about the election being rigged, the prospects of voter fraud, and we have a couple of people that want to spout off on this that I'd like to hear from, including Mark, who apparently was at the Trump rally up in the north of the Cheese Curtain yesterday. Mark, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. Go ahead.
So, yeah, I went to the Trump rally, and I tell you, it was a real eye-opener for me because, you know, I've heard this on blogs and social media, how the media is one way, and I found it really kind of hard to believe that they would really be that bold and kind of be on one side of the Democrats. And when I went to the Trump rally, that really opened my eyes because I saw right away that is very true. And when I was at the Trump rally, one of the things I experienced is how the Trump supporters, they just despise the media because of them not being truthful. I mean, there were thousands of people there, and they would just turn around and be yelling, and major, you know, media, CNN, NBC, and they would just be shouting out, "Tell the truth, tell the truth." And, you know, we're not getting the truth. I just heard on your station yesterday on the way to the Trump rally how Democrats hire these thugs to go and try to start things. And I tell you, when I was just walking to the convention center, people were so nice and peaceful, that the Trump supporters. Now, I experienced firsthand a thug coming up to me, and I have it on video. I'm going to be putting it on the Facebook Deplorables page. Now, I just ignored it and walked away.
But you had somebody come up and try and agitate you, try and incite a confrontation.
Right. I was just having a conversation. There was this guy just standing there with a Trump bobble doll or whatever, and you know, I just started a conversation. And now another thing that's happening is they have these protesters, which I also have on video. So I'm kind of was playing the part of our journalist, and that's the thing is these people like me. You know, this is old school journalism. Where, you know, when I was a kid, I used to like look up, you know, to the media and stuff, and now that is turning around.
All right, thanks for the call, Mark. Appreciate that. Val in Sandwich, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I'm an election judge, and of course, I live out in an area where you know everybody, so I don't see where actual rigging would occur, but mistakes could happen. I know of somebody who registered in Kane County and early voted last year, but she was still on the roster in my county. So, I mean, that's a mistake that could honestly happen, I suppose, but you have to know that you already voted, et cetera.
Yeah.
But in Chicago, in some of the more populated areas where you don't know your neighbors, I could see where, you know, They could get a roster of people who have died and hire people to say, hey, go to this polling place and tell them that you're so-and-so. And they're not going to know that, Mr. Smith died, and he's not really Mr. Smith unless they had some kind of an ID.
Thanks for the call, Val. Appreciate it. Speaking of Chicago, turning our attention to dubious conduct of a different sort, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Faisal Khan. He is the head of a good government group called Project 6. He's the former legislative inspector general for the Chicago City Council.
Wow, that's a big job.
And he comes to us from New York, so he's no babe in the woods. Faisal, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning. And by the way, there's an interview that I did with Faisal on Against the Current at upstream-ideas.com that covers a wide range of topics, including a lot of detail about Faisal's background that you may find interesting as well at upstream-ideas.com, or my Against the Current interview with Faisal. The issue we want to start with, though, is when is a bribe not a bribe? Apparently, it's when you give aldermen Cubs tickets.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Cubs are doing. They've offered a special deal, Dan, to Chicago aldermen, the mayor's office, the governor, and a bunch of state reps to buy home playoff tickets for the entirety of the playoff at face value. You and I both know, unfortunately, that they're not really worth face value. They're worth thousands of dollars more than that. So that's pretty troubling. And it's not really because of the Cubs. What the Cubs are doing, it's because the aldermen are allowed to buy these tickets. Because you would think it's an obvious conflict of interest, right? Every year the Cubs have some type of new legislation that pops up in Chicago, whether it's to change their zoning, their parking, to build something, to sell more concessions, to get more liquor licenses. So this is essentially just a down payment on a favor down the road. You're getting a sweetheart of a deal. 1.9 million people, Dan, Amy, signed up for a lottery to buy these tickets. Aldermen and all these other officials got to cut to the front of the line and buy these tickets at face value.
Well, and it makes me sick. And they said that they're supposed to announce their names then as part of this deal before the game begins to let the public know that they're here. And we don't even know. I mean, it was so ridiculous. So I went to the game. No, I got into that lottery, Faisal, and I actually won. I was one of the 1.9 that got to buy series tickets for the division series.
Congratulations.
And I got there early just to see, are they really going to announce the alderman's name? Is Danny Solis going to stand up? Because Danny Solis, one of the aldermen who turned it down a few years ago, or last year, said this year he's going to give it to his wife and his head of staff. But he legally, he's not supposed to do that. He's supposed to go himself to the event, correct?
Oh, that's a tough ethics ordinance.
It is.
He has to go to the game himself, Faisal. Isn't that onerous?
Well, so the thing is, the ethics ordinance makes it clear that these tickets would be a gift. At best, if they're not a conflict of interest, they're a gift. And there are rules regarding gifts given to aldermen. And so this issue ended up in front of the Board of Ethics, and the Board of Ethics, in one of the most counterintuitive decisions in the world, decided to find a loophole to make sure that aldermen could, in fact, accept these tickets and go to the game. And Amy, like you said, the loophole was as long as they declare that they're going for official business reasons, which right, what kind of official business you'll be doing at 7 o'clock on a Saturday night at a Cubs playoff game.
Oh, I got it.
For your highest donor.
No,
guess.
No, I got it. The official business. Thank you, Ed Burke. The official business is making sure Addison Russell isn't chewing tobacco because you could issue him a citation.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you could do that from the upper reserves where you got the ticket, but I wish you the best if that's the idea. So the Board of Ethics comes up with this cockamamie decision that says that as long as you declare you're on official business and as long as the Cubs put your name up on the board that you got these tickets, you're good to go. And that's reality, guys. It's one of the most silly decisions that we've ever seen come down from the Board of Ethics. It makes absolutely no sense, and it just makes it clear that the Board of Ethics isn't serving us, the taxpayers, where you would think that they would just say, no, you cannot accept these tickets.
Yeah, who watches the
loophole to allow aldermen to buy these tickets. And what that does is it just opens a Pandora's box for the future. If you think about it, official business means that you can use official tax dollars for things. So every time an alderman goes to a public event and he pays for his transportation, it comes out of your or my pocket. It's his aldermanic expense account. So logically, if you're going to the Cubs game on official business, guess what? You can use your aldermanic expense account to buy those tickets. So here we are now paying for aldermen and other officials to go to Cubs playoff tickets on our dime.
Now, you were in New York, as I mentioned, serving under two mayors, both Giuliani and Bloomberg, if I'm recalling correctly. And I wonder if there was anything like this for the Mets or for the Yankees or any other sports team in New York.
No, actually, completely opposite. Both Giuliani and Bloomberg got in trouble at one point for accepting tickets from the Yankees and had to write personal checks to cover that amount and were subsequently fined by the Conflict of Interest Board. You simply can't do that.
Someday, maybe, we can be as ethical as New York City.
That sounds like a good deal. I want to run for alderman.
Isn't that a great aspiration? Isn't that a great goal someday?
It's a fantastic aspiration. That's why we have Project 6 and other organizations out there. But I think it's just one of those things where hopefully you and I will be here one day, Dan, to see it.
Well, I mean, I say that a bit laughingly. I mean, it's a much better situation than Chicago, certainly. But they just had your two legislative leaders in New York are going to prison. I mean, and we are looking up at New York in terms of political ethical standards.
I think, Dan, and I told you in my interview when we sat down that day that, for Chicago being the third biggest metropolis in the country, it's being run like a third world city in Mexico somewhere, ethically. The fact is the Board of Ethics isn't doing work for the taxpayers, and they're just a microcosm of the problem here in Chicago when a city agency is actively working against taxpayer interests. Here, just like Amy said, she was one of the lucky ones out of the 1.9 million people who got to go to the Cubs game and paid for those tickets. All those other people didn't because they didn't run for office. They didn't get to cut to the front of the line, and they didn't get the freebie because of their title. You know what I think? I think that only elected officials in Illinois should be allowed to go to Cubs games. With the number of elected officials in the state, we can nearly fill Wrigley Field.
That's true.
There has been at least 100 tickets given out, minimum, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And Amy, what you mentioned earlier about the names on the board, they put them up an hour and a half before the game even started. There was barely anyone in.
Right when the gates opened up, so no one would.
And then everybody
see
sees sees the names on the board, and they're like, "Well, who are these people?"
He's not a starting third baseman.
It's not like any alderman stood up and said wave to everybody.
Oh no, yeah, they have a chance of getting booed if they announce them publicly.
Well, that's why regular people shouldn't be allowed at these events. It should all be ruling
Makes me
class
so
politicians.
Mad. I'm going to run for alderman, and I'm going to say I'm running for alderman just for postseason Cubs tickets.
Panwar, you're on notice. Alderman Panwar. All right. He is Faisal Khan. He answers the question, who watches the Watchdogs? Project 6 does. And you can go to thesecret6.com for more information as well as some of the content that they're producing. Faisal, as always, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Guys, great talking to you. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey DAP Pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
Business owners and managers, you likely aren't getting the most out of your phone system, and whether you realize it or not, you could be losing revenue. At AM 560, Innovative Networks is more than a client. They're also a company we work with and highly recommend. They excel at providing innovative solutions to reinforce your company's phone infrastructure and enhance call flow. We appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing network solutions that scale with our business. And amazingly, they can replace your outdated phone system at no cost. Plus, provide hands-on training to maximize your capabilities. Your bottom line will improve, and you'll be better equipped to focus on growing your business. We're thrilled with Innovative Networks and suggest you call them at 312-889-9090. They're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, the number 312-889-9090, or visit go4inet.com. That's go, the number 4, INET.com.
Debate number 2 got personal.
Bill Clinton was abusive to women.
Real personal.
We've seen him embarrass women.
So will the third and final debate be more of the same? Will Hillary continue the assault on Trump's personal life?
I know you're into big diversion tonight.
And will Trump point his sights again on Hillary's mounting email scandal?
There has never been so many lies.
Join us for the final debate, Trump-Clinton, Wednesday. Pre-debate coverage begins with Joe Walsh, starting at 5. Hear the debate at 8 on AM 560. The Answer.
These days, you gotta have a side hustle. And I'm not talking about a 9-to-5. I'm talking about driving with Uber. It's the ultimate side hustle. You wanna earn extra money? Drive with Uber. Have a few spare hours here and there? Drive with Uber. You like the idea of being your own boss? Drive with Uber. You'd make a great boss. You're probably driving right now. You should be earning. If you want your car to start making you money, then visit uber.com/drive now and get your side hustle on today. That's uber.com/drive now.
You're listening to the sound of an actual heart beating outside of a human body. Thanks to modern technology, a doctor can now keep a donor heart beating until it's ready to be transplanted into its recipient. Yet if our doctor wanted to transfer a phone call from her desk phone to her cell, she couldn't, because her phone system can't do that. At Vonage, we think it's about time business communications caught up. See what Vonage can do for your business at Vonage.com/it'sabouttime.
And now, a moment of objectivism with Yaron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
From childhood, we're taught that to be moral is to be altruistic. For philosopher Ayn Rand, no doctrine could be more evil. Altruism, Rand explained, does not mean being kind or generous towards others. Instead, altruism is the moral philosophy that says you don't have a right to exist for your own sake. It's the idea that service to others is the only justification for your existence, and that self-sacrifice is your highest moral duty, virtue, and value. Altruism is hostile to the founding principles of this great country and what makes human life great, that each individual has the inalienable right to pursue his own life and happiness. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brook Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ariradio.com.
If you enjoy Yaron Brook's Moments of Objectivism, consider making a gift to support content like this from the Ayn Rand Institute. ARI fosters a growing awareness, understanding, and acceptance of Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism to create a culture guided by the principles of reason, rational self-interest, individualism, and laissez-faire capitalism. To support this work, go to ariradio.com and click on the Donate button. Your tax-deductible gift will help to spread the message of Ayn Rand to the next generation. The following is a paid political announcement.
As Americans, we have many issues to consider this election cycle. But those of us in Cook County also have the big issue of property taxes, which are driving some people out of their homes, their county, and their state.
I'm Dan Patlack, Commissioner of the Cook County Board of Review. I've worked hard to increase access to the appeal process and ensure fair assessments. Last year, more appeals were filed with the board than ever in the history of Cook County or the nation, and the Cook County Board of Review was ready. As the only Republican in a tax system controlled by the other party, I represent balance and someone who will fight for you. With over 20 years of experience in property valuation as a realtor, certified assessing officer, board analyst, township assessor, and commissioner, and with a background fighting unfair taxation and wasteful spending, I want to continue working for fair assessments on your behalf. I'm Dan Patlack, and I ask for your vote.
Dan Patlack, the qualified candidate for Cook County Board of Review. Endorsed by the Chicago Tribune. Visit electpatlack.com. Paid for by citizens for Dan Patlack.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. Best thing I ever got in my. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
When it comes to commercial vehicles, it's time to drill down to the details. If you're not driving the new Sprinter Worker from Mercedes-Benz, your van just isn't cutting it. The Sprinter Worker takes payload up a notch, carrying up to 3,512 pounds. Its cargo volume is cranked up too, with over 300 cubic feet of space. When it comes to safety, it's unmatched, but it's the price that'll really hammer it home. The new Sprinter Worker starts at just $32,495. It also has a service interval of up to 20,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. Put that in your pipe and weld it. Huge capacity, small price, starting at just $32,495. The all-new Sprinter Worker, starting at only $32,495. Mercedes-Benz, vans born to run.
MSRP for a 2016 Sprinter Worker excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Here are the stories we're watching right now. 1 killed and 4 hurt in a Southside Chicago shooting. Hornets outlast the Bulls in OT. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. The State Department says no way. There was no special attempt to help Hillary Clinton amid the probe into her email controversy.
The fact that we had debates and discussions inside the interagency over the classification over some of these emails is nothing new. It happened quite a bit.
Spokesman John Kirby dismissing allegations an undersecretary tried to make an illegal deal with the FBI to declassify an email labeled secret. Donald Trump isn't buying it.
The State Department was trying to cover up Hillary's crimes of sending classified information on a server.
He's likening this to Watergate. That's what he said last night at a rally in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Fox's John Roberts.
Donald Trump is anxious to find a topic on which he can change the subject away from the news that's been dogging him for the last 7 days, and he believes he may have it here because this is being covered above the fold in big newspapers.
Melania Trump tells Fox she accepted her husband's apology over what she admitted were offensive remarks he made in a 2005 video, but she's not believing women accusing Trump of harassment or groping.
Why now? Why 3 weeks before the election? And what they're accusing my husband, that is not the person that I know.
Buoyed by rising poll numbers, Hillary Clinton is spending money in states Democrats don't normally win, like Arizona, Indiana, and Missouri. Syrian activists claim there have been more airstrikes around Aleppo this morning after Russia and Syria said they would stop. Fox's Jessica Gallagher live in our Middle East Bureau.
Dave, Moscow has plans for 3 8-hour pauses in military actions in war-torn Syria, according to a spokesman for the United Nations Humanitarian Coordinator. The cessation in action is expected in the besieged city of Aleppo this week over consecutive days. The spokesman adding that the UN agency needs to make sure all sides are in agreement to the pauses before it can deliver humanitarian aid and evacuate the sick and wounded, Dave.
Jessica, Americans who get Social Security will get a tiny bit more in their checks next year. 0.3% is the new cost of living adjustment. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
In Chicago, this morning we have cloudy skies, 70 degrees, headed for a partly sunny day. 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. 1 dead, 4 hurt. Following a shooting on Chicago's South Side, Chicago police this morning say 5 people, including a 13-year-old boy, were shot last night near Winchester and Marquette. One of the victims died at the scene. National League Championship Series resumes later tonight. Game 3 in Los Angeles tonight. Jake Arrieta takes to the mound for the Cubs.
Having a past experience of pitching in postseason games and in big games, really helps us moving forward. Obviously, the emotions that are involved in games like this at times can be hard to deal with. But when you've been in these situations before, it makes it a lot easier.
Los Angeles sending former Cub Rich Hill to the mound. 2 of Illinois' largest newspapers are splitting their endorsements for U.S. Senate. Daily Herald will back U.S. Senator Mark Kirk, the Republican, while the Sun-Times endorsed Sunday Tammy Duckworth. A windsurfer is safe, rescued from Lake Michigan near Evanston. Coast Guard was able to pull that man from the water about 2 miles offshore, used his cell phone to call for help. Workers are installing digital signage along the Jane Addams Tollway, giving drivers speed and accident information in real time next spring. Daily Herald reporting construction on the tollway begins to finish. Crews will install the gantries about every half mile, a total of 29 between O'Hare and Barrington Road. Cubs and Dodgers meet tonight in Game 3. The Indians a win away from a trip to the World Series after a 4-2 victory over Toronto. The news, a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on ink toner and printers. The redesigned lightning fast HP OfficeJet Pro, now at Staples. And you can save up to $100 for a limited time. See store or staples.com for details, restrictions, and limitations. Staples, make more happen. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Turnkey.pro. From the Fox Business Network, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, United Health Group is raising its forecast for this year. It is the nation's largest health insurance company. United Health's earnings increased 23% to a profit of nearly $2 billion. The company previously said it would lose approximately $850 million from Affordable Care Act plans this year. That's a separate unit of the company. It will only offer coverage next year in Nevada, Virginia, and New York. Johnson & Johnson made more money from prescription drugs in its recent quarter. J&J is the world's largest maker of healthcare products. Its earnings were stronger than expected. Autoimmune drug Remicade is J&J's biggest product. Sales increased 10.5%. But Pfizer has a new drug to compete with Remicade, Inflectra. It says it will cost 15% less. It's described as biosimilar. The Dow closed down 51 yesterday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity gives you a free lesson on the economy.
Corporations do not pay taxes.
Well, what do you mean, Hannity? They got to pay something. Everyone's going to pay their fair share.
When they build the product or they provide the service, and let's say the government taxes them at a high rate, what do you think they are going to do? They're going to pass the tax charges on to you.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're familiar with cloud computing, you probably know that Amazon Web Services offers a complete set of secure compute, storage, application, and deployment services that help companies launch and scale their IT infrastructures while lowering costs. But did you know that you're still responsible for protecting your own AWS-based assets, meaning your applications and data, from advanced cyber threats? Protect your AWS with Barracuda Network's advanced firewall solutions. Visit AWS Marketplace or barracuda.com/AWS to learn more.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that you're probably driving right now. Sitting comfortably behind the wheel with a tasty caffeinated beverage in your cup holder. Well, if you were driving with Uber, you could be earning money right now too. That's because Uber is the ultimate side hustle. Extra cash whenever you want. Earning you can turn on and off, just like your car. This isn't just another job, it's a totally flexible way to earn. So go ahead, get your side hustle on. Visit uber.com/drive now. That's uber.com/drive now.
You're listening to the actual sound of Jupiter. Its electromagnetic waves were captured by a probe and beamed roughly 365 million miles to scientists on Earth. But say those same scientists wanted to host a video conference to show off their work. They'd probably need to call IT to have them set up video and a 15-digit dial-in that might not even work. At Vonage, we think it's about time business communications caught up. See what Vonage can do for your business at vonage.com/it'sabouttime.
8:07, check of the roads, AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. I-80 has heavy eastbound delays from Parker Road to 183rd. There was a person on the roadway earlier. Westbound slow Cicero to 183rd. Eden's 33 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. The Kennedy is an hour and 20 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 48 minutes from Montrose. 41 on the Express. Outbound 44 minutes downtown to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 22 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. An hour and 2 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 42 minutes to Manheim. An hour 17 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 50 minutes. The Riot, 45 minutes, 95th to downtown. There was an earlier crash on the Kennedy at Ohio. Outbound, it's 22 minutes. Northbound tri-state delays are from Ridgeland and 115th to 47th, Ogden to 31st, and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Southbound, it's heavy 21 to Eau Plaine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Winds gradually subsiding today from 25 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. Otherwise, partial sunshine with a high today 74. Mainly clear and breezy night tonight with a low of 50. For tomorrow, clouds and sun, high 69. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
70 degrees at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
So that's part of the process of eliciting the reaction. The whole point of it is we know that Trump's people will freak the out.
It looks to me like a rigged election. A totally rigged election. It's a rigged election. This is a rigged system, folks.
I think when most Americans hear that an election's rigged, they think of government action to rig the election. And there, Mr. Trump has a point if he would just make it more clearly.
It is pitchfork and torches time in America.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. A couple programming notes. The first, James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, the video that's making its way around the globe via the web, except to Julian Assange.
Oh, yeah, because his internet was cut off.
Yeah, he's been kicked off the web. But he will join us at 8:35, will James O'Keefe, to talk about the video that features two operatives, leftist operatives, bragging about how they coordinate with the DNC and the Hillary campaign to deploy people at Trump Pence events to incite violence for the purposes of the cameras, the D.C. press corps reporting that and advancing the caricature of Trump supporters as violent and so forth. And one of those, of course, featured is Bob Creamer, who is the husband of Illinois Congressman Jan Schakowsky.
I feel like we need to give him a nickname, like Bobby G. Thug.
Why Bobby G?
Thug boss.
Bobby C.
Bobby C. And that's what Bobby.
Yeah.
C. Common spelling.
You mean
Creamer.
like OG?
Yeah, yeah. We need to give him.
Bobby OG.
That one sit well with you.
Yeah. No, we'll work on it. I mean,
Okay.
Calamity Jan, we've got that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's locked in. But Bob Creamer will take your suggestions for a handle for Bob Creamer, Jan Schakowsky's husband. How about Condemned? So that's at 8:35, and then the other programming note today we're sitting in again for Michael Medved as we did yesterday. Michael Medved back tomorrow after observing the Jewish festival, and he so that's 2 to 5, and then rebroadcast on these airwaves 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so those
and then
two
we'll take a
programming notes.
4-hour break. Then we're back at 5 a.m.
Exactly. All Dan and Amy all the time. Sheriff Clark at that Trump rally. Sheriff David Clark, friend of the show, Milwaukee County Sheriff, went up to Green Bay yesterday. And you think he's backing off it's time for pitchforks and torches rhetoric? Then you don't know Sheriff Clark.
Right now, the Constitution of the United States is being trampled on. The rule of law is being shredded. Our institutions of government, our institutions, are corrupt. The IRS is going after law-abiding American groups who have different political views than the White House. The FBI, not the agents, folks, but the higher-ups at the FBI, colluding with the Clinton campaign. And it's just amazing to me that my tweets, they're pretty good, by the way, at Sheriff Clark. My tweets get more attention from the mainstream media than Julian Assange and WikiLeaks are getting right now. I tell you what, WikiLeaks has got to be envious with all the attention my tweets are getting. And I said the other day, maybe they should have started out each leak with this phrase: it is pitchfork and torches time in America.
How about it? Pitchforks and torches time in America? Question mark 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line. Do you agree? I don't know. I don't know. This race is really difficult to get a handle on. So, for example,
every day.
Yeah, and I mean, and every state is a swing state.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, now Arizona's in play, Utah.
How about Alaska?
Texas.
Alaska
too?
Politics website reported yesterday that Trump has 37% of the vote in Alaska, Clinton 36.
What?
I mean, Alaska.
That's not the Alaska I went to visit.
No, Alaska is pretty dyed red state, but
And Arizona might turn too. I mean, Michelle Obama's campaigning there later today.
So yeah, I mean, there's this revolt. There is this revolt happening that's bubbling below the surface. Does it bubble over with enough force to cascade Trump into the presidency? I don't know, but I do know that what Sheriff David Clark was saying about the institutions of government that we used to rely on to offer things like the equal administration of the law, getting more and more challenging to have faith in those institutions. Another story out today, a story we reported earlier this week, yesterday, majority of the FBI, according to one unnamed FBI agent, majority of the FBI wanted Hillary Clinton prosecuted, thought that was the right thing to do. Comey overruled the majority opinion, essentially. More agents coming forward and speaking on condition of anonymity, some of them saying Comey actually stood in the way of the Clinton investigation. They're raising questions about how the investigation was conducted. One FBI agent, special agent, who has worked on public corruption and criminal cases said, quote, "This," being the Hillary investigation, "is a textbook case where a grand jury should have been convened but was not. It's appalling. We talk about it in the office and don't know how Comey can keep going. We didn't search their house. We always search the house. The search should not just have been for private electronics, which contain classified material, but even for printouts of such material. There should have been a complete search of their residence. That the FBI did not seize devices is unbelievable. The FBI even seizes devices that have been set on fire." There's reports from documents that have been released by the FBI, even though they are heavily redacted, that those inside the State Department felt, quote, "immense pressure to complete the review of Hillary's emails quickly and not label anything as classified." We talked about the story yesterday, the quid pro quo potentially between one senior State Department official and the FBI over reclassifying a classified email. Now, State and the FBI are denying this happened, but this is an open question.
And Donald Trump wants that Undersecretary Patrick Kennedy to be fired. And he said that yesterday at the rally in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
We also find, according to FBI documents, about 100 pages of documents they released yesterday, that Hillary Clinton is so unpleasant, agents didn't want to protect her.
Yeah, we've known that for.
I know, but it's just fun to remind people.
It makes you laugh.
It does.
Funny.
And also that somebody she did like, Mrs. Carlos Danger. Hillary Clinton blatantly disregarded security and diplomatic protocols as Secretary of State, frequently insulted U.S. ambassadors by refusing to ride with them to diplomatic events abroad, said a former U.S. diplomatic security officer, because she wanted to ride with Uma.
Uh-oh. And the other shoe has dropped.
You said it, I didn't.
They're just friends.
Steve and McHenry, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Steve.
Hello.
Hey, Steve, you're on.
Oh, okay. I was just calling regarding what you had. One of your commercials had just said, in regards to the FBI, and that is that integrity cannot be taken away; it can only be given away. And the FBI has given away any integrity that they had, and they ought to be embarrassed. And somebody from there needs to stand up and say something.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Steve. Yeah, and perhaps not anonymously, maybe as these individuals retire. Or feel like they're protected. I don't know.
Well, the State Department spoke. I mean, Mark Toner, one of the spokesmen, came out and said, "Oh, that was all false.
There's no quid pro quo. Absolutely not."
And in regards to Patrick Kennedy stepping down?
Well, that's their prerogative, but I can say that Pat Kennedy is going to remain at his job, and he has the full confidence of the Secretary of State.
The FBI stated yesterday that it was one of their agents that suggested that more people go overseas to Iraq, to areas that were forbidden before in the past.
Well, that's good enough for me. Case closed. I mean, obviously, I take all these individuals at their word. Good grief. Mark in Des Plaines.
You talk about pitchforks and torches. You need to talk about, like, the Democrats burning down campaign offices and this felon, Bob Craner, Robert, oh, my gosh. And what really bothers me, Dan, is this. If the Democrats can do this to, Trump, what are they going to do to us? The opposition to them when they get elected. Are they going to take this out on us? Are they going to, suppress us? Are they going to try to, get us for any, minor traffic violation you can think of? What's going to happen then?
Well, thanks for the call, Mark. Well, what have they done? We know what they've done. They've unleashed the IRS on people with whom they disagree. Victor Davis Hanson has an excellent piece in National Review I would direct people's attention to, particularly Never Trump conservatives. Victor Davis Hanson, credentials as an academic, as an intellectual, as a conservative, pretty stellar. Here's what he writes. Nor is the election a choice even between 4 more years of liberalism and a return of conservatism. It's an effort to halt the fundamental transformation of the country. A likely 2-term Clinton presidency would complete a 16-year institutionalization of serial progressive abuse of the Constitution, outdoing even the 12 years of the imperial Roosevelt administration. The WikiLeaks revelation suggests an emboldened Hillary Clinton, who feels that a 2016 victory will reify her utopian dreams of a new intercontinental America of open borders and open markets from Chile to Alaska, in the manner of the European Union expands from the Aegean to the Baltic. Conservatives who sit out the election de facto vote for Clinton in the manner that Sanders' liberal supporters, should they stay home, become votes for Trump. Oddly, renegade Democrats seem more eager to return to their fold than do their louder Republican counterparts. And he goes on, essentially, to make the case for voting for Donald Trump, which is the title of his piece, why conservatives should vote for Donald Trump for president. Despite everything that we know and have no false hopes about it in terms of what it represents precisely what Victor Davis Hanson said. It's not a return to conservatism. We're going to a dark place in America, but it is an effort to halt the fundamental transformation of the country, so perhaps we could have a chance for a return to conservatism in the not-too-distant future.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Can we take Bob from Lyle, please? He's been on hold for better part of an hour now.
I think Bob has sufficiently done his penance. We will take it.
Bob, you're up next. But now we have your forecast. It's going to be partly sunny today. Still windy, wind gusts of up to 25 miles per hour, but it's going to gradually subside as the day continues. But a beautiful high of 74 degrees. Tonight, a low of 50. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, a high of 69 degrees. Let's get those travel times. How's the inbound Kennedy doing, Jim Talamonte?
Well, Amy, the numbers tell the story. It is an hour and 20 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. The delay started at Nagel. 48 minutes from Montrose, 41 on the Express. Outbound much improved. It's 44 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 34 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 31. The Eisenhower, an hour and 22 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, an hour and 2 minutes from Manheim. Outbound an hour 17 at Thorndale. Very heavy on the extension. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 46 minutes. Ryan is 33 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, bottled up 111th to 31st and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway, little slow Farnsworth to Eola. Veterans Memorial, it's the I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt from the Army Trail toll to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Jen, Dan Proft here. Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol numbers, but do you know your testosterone number? Yeah, your testosterone number. I know mine, thanks to my friends at Low T Center. Low T Center made it easy for me. I walked in, I took a simple blood test, and thanks to the convenience of their on-site lab, I got my testosterone results in just 20 minutes. Voila! Easy. If you've noticed a decline in energy and stamina, lack of motivation, or just a down mood as you've gotten older, you may very well have low testosterone. Low T levels can make you feel grumpy and tired. They can even raise your cholesterol or cause weight gain. At Low T Center, treatment is covered by most health insurance, so don't hesitate to find out what your number is. I'm glad I did. You owe it to yourself to call 630-409-4305. That's 630-409-4305. Give my friends at Low T Center a call and tell them Dan Proft sent you. The number again, 630-409-4305, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 33-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. We have so many wonderful clients, but with me today is someone very special.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA. We are a nonprofit student organization battling the bias and indoctrination in America's high schools and colleges every day. We are on over 1,000 campuses and continue to grow. Precision Payroll has been there since day one and has helped us immensely as we grew to a truly national organization. No one in the business is better than Precision Payroll. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Charlie. What you're doing is so important. To learn more and help, go to tpusa.com. That's tpusa.com.
And for your business, let Precision Payroll make a difference for you. Call Tom at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or online at precisionpayroll.com.
Thank you, Charlie.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spraveri, CEO of Spraveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spraveri's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I want to get to what Melania had to say in defense of her hubby, both with Anderson Cooper and then this morning on Fox and Friends. But take a couple calls real quick. Bob and Lyle, who's been waiting patiently. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Hi. Good morning. Thank you. You know, I listen to your program off my phone here, and the biggest fraud is these sanctuary cities. Now, think about it for a minute. The Democratic Party, that's the ruling party, made all these laws that, you know, basically anybody could vote. I could vote 20 times. All I have to do is just show up and ask for a ballot in some of these cities. But that's not the reason. I got to ask you a question because you're a lawyer. What they could revisit the Congress again, and because they have additional information that Hillary Clinton was lying to her. She destroyed evidence, her servers and everything. And this is before. In other words, she already knew that they were supposed to turn that in, and they destroyed it after. I mean, they have that; it's all written down.
Yep.
But it makes sense. Could you please explain what a writ of mandamus is? Seeing that you're a lawyer,
well,
why can't they bring an action against her? There's enough people that want her prosecuted.
Well, let me. Thanks for the call, Bob. Let me just suggest this. There's a couple things here. One, on these matters, the statutes have not run. So this is why Trump said at the second debate that he would ask his attorney general to appoint a special prosecutor. Jason Chaffetz has said after recess there are grounds to have a number of more hearings. Jason Chaffetz, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee. So you could pursue this. We've talked to Peter Roskam about, say, for example, Lois Lerner and what happened at IRS. And if you had a different attorney general and different prosecutors, if you had different agency heads at places like FBI, then you can still pursue some of these matters that have been closed by the Department of Justice, the FBI, the Obama regime. So, you know, that's why, and another reason why one would suggest that this is sort of an important election. Tom in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, and to his point, we're currently living in a banana republic, and that's why nobody can be punished. Our leaders are above the law. And if you want to see what this is going to turn into, look at Cuba or North Korea. The only not even the FBI can punish Hillary Clinton or Lois Lerner. The only people that can punish these people are the voters on November 8th. And if people aren't smart enough to figure this out, then they deserve what they get.
All right. Thanks for the call, Tom. By the way, I mean, just Bob asked what a writ of mandamus was, too.
A writ of mandamus? Yeah. Wasn't that the name of my high school band?
It was. That was a Bananarama cover band, wasn't it? I thought so. Writ of mandamus just as an order from a court to an inferior government, inferior level of government, subordinate level of government, requiring an official to properly fulfill their official duties. So that's what you could get a federal district court to order in effect, and that's frankly what Judicial Watch, through FOIAs and civil action in federal court, has gotten federal judges to do with respect to the State Department and the disclosure of all of these Hillary emails.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Introducing the perfect getaway, nestled in the prairie, a place you can go to unload the stress of the day and recharge your inner peace. A place that fills your senses with fresh air and the sweet sounds of your Second Amendment rights being exercised. It's where you go to clear your head.
Set your sights for the range at 355. Shoot in a brand new state-of-the-art facility with 2 ranges, one programmable for distance and the other for turning and tactical drills, featuring Mancom Touch Plus and Mancom Touch & Go systems. Trust us, it's cool. The Range at 355, situated on a private parcel of wetlands at the crossroads of I-55 and 355, right off Boughton Road. A shooting oasis with a full array of firearms, ammunition, accessories, and classes with professional guidance and courteous instruction. Take a vacation from the mundane. The Range at 355, founded by patriots like you. For range hours and info, visit range355.com.
Hey, you've heard the name Turnkey IT for years on this radio station, and and so do I, that they do something with IT for business. But the truth is that Turnkey IT supports users, not simply computer devices. Now, the average consumer now has just under 4 connected devices that they use daily. Smartphones, tablets, laptops, desktops. And these devices connect to fitness devices, watches, thermostats, heck, even your refrigerators. So the professionals at Turnkey IT help you connect all of them together so your company is as connected as you want it to be. Turnkey IT team has a great team of professionals who help users every day, just like you and me. From the simplest to the most complex systems, they make technology workable, usable, and reliable. So if you're tired of just settling for technology and want to really make your technology work for you, visit turnkey.pro today to see how simple and affordable it can be to get your tech world spinning. That's turnkey.pro, turnkey.pro. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Quick programming note, 9:07 this morning on the Mike Gallagher Show, one Donald Trump.
Ooh.
That should be interesting. And also interesting, coming up at 8:38 on our show, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas regarding his undercover video work.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, Hillary Clinton facing fresh revelations about her use of a private email server as Secretary of State. FBI records show that a senior State Department official unsuccessfully sought to lower the classification
It's
level
irresponsible
of email
to say the
found on
election
that
is
server.
rigged. You shouldn't sow seeds of
Says
doubt
the
unless you have some
allegations
facts to back it up.
Undersecretary Patrick Kennedy sought to have that email declassified.
Have a little hug for Donald. He just got off the bus.
Okay,
absolutely.
It's not true.
Melania said this was okay.
I just got off the bus.
And it's just
there we go.
A
quid pro quo even suggested or any kind of bargain laid on the table.
John Kirby on Fox News this morning. The
Have a little hug for Donald. He just got off the bus. Okay, absolutely. Melania said this was okay.
I just got off the bus.
There we
go.
Sandy Jackson, a free woman this morning. Today is her release date after she served close to a year in federal prison in West Virginia for filing
not surprised
false tax returns.
In one way,
Jackson was
because
moved to a Washington,
as I said
D.C.
before,
halfway house
everything
last
was
month.
organized.
One man is dead, 4 others
why
seriously
now?
hurt.
Why 3
following
weeks
a shooting
before
on
the
Chicago's
election?
South
And
Side, 5 people, including a
what
13-year-old
they're accusing
boy
my
were shot
husband,
last
that
night
is
near
not
Winchester
the person that I know.
and Marquette.
What is your message
A
to these women?
windsurfer safe,
That
rescued
all
from Lake
the
Michigan near Evanston,
allegations
about 2 miles
should be
offshore by the U.S.
handled
Coast Guard.
in
And
a
it was a
court of
record
law.
day on The Price is Right yesterday.
And without the
History,
evidence,
if you will, as a trio
to
of
accuse
contestants spun $1 on the game show's colorful wheel. 3 contestants each landed on different combinations of $1 in pairs of spins. Now, that game show, you may know, famously awards contestants who earn $1 on the wheel without going over a $1,000 prize and a chance to spin again. Price is Right's been on the air for 45 years. Cubs and Dodgers meet in Game 3 of the NLCS tonight in L.A. Indians are away from the World Series after a 4-2 victory over Toronto. The news, a service of Batteries Plus Bulbs. Right now at Batteries Plus Bulbs, save up to $10 on Duracell Ultra.
Trump is in full crisis mode, his inner circle shrinking as confidants like Chris Christie and Newt Gingrich distance themselves.
For details, Batteries Plus Bulbs, trust the plus. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes
Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th. I know this because some famous actors told me. Thanks, famous actors.
Thanks, famous actors.
Thanks, famous actors.
I have no idea.
No idea. I was just thinking sometime in December, maybe January. Wait, it's this year?
I thought it was over. It turns out this election is important. Really important.
Really important.
Really important.
Because I thought it was, no big deal.
Again, thanks, famous actors, because it's times like these when we realize just how lucky we are to have
famous Hollywood actors
to guide us. To guide us.
They know stuff we just don't know.
Stuff we can't know.
Because we're not famous actors.
Non-reaffirmed mortgage. Until recently, Tom's only option would have been to pay down his loan over $35,000 and secure a FHA loan. I have outstanding news. My team can now refinance homeowners discharged at least 4 years from a Chapter 7 bankruptcy into a conventional loan instead of an FHA loan. This is a huge game changer for borrowers looking to refinance their non-reaffirmed mortgages after a Chapter 7. If you like to refinance out of your non-reaffirmed mortgage with a ridiculously high rate, like Tom did, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the bus.
Okay, absolutely. Melania said this was okay.
I just got off the bus.
This election cycle. But those of us in Cook County also have the big issue of property taxes, which are driving some people out of their homes, their county, and their state.
I'm Dan Patlak, Commissioner of the Cook County Board of Review. I've worked hard to increase access to the appeal process and ensure fair assessments. Last year, more appeals were filed with the board than ever in the history of Cook County or the nation, and the Cook County Board of Review was ready. As the only Republican in a tax system controlled by the other party, I represent balance and someone who will fight for you. With over 20 years of experience in property valuation as a realtor, certified assessing officer, board analyst, township assessor, and commissioner, and with a background fighting unfair taxation and wasteful spending, I want to continue working for fair assessments on your behalf. I'm Dan Patlak, and I ask for your vote.
Dan Patlak, the qualified candidate for Cook County Board of Review, endorsed by the Chicago Tribune. Visit electpatlak.com. Paid for by citizens for Dan Patlak.
8:36. Check of the roads, AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Still very heavy on eastbound I-80 from around Maple to 183rd after there was a person earlier on the roadway. The Edens is 34 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 31. The Kennedy, an hour and 9 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 48 minutes. The Eisenhower is an hour and a half now from Thorndale to the Loop. An hour and 6 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 41 minutes to Manheim, but an hour 15 to Thorndale. The extension's really bottled up. Stevenson, an hour and 13 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 42 minutes. Orion, 33 minutes, 95th to downtown, crash at 35th in the left lane. Northbound Tri-State, traffic hits the brakes from 111th to 31st and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway slow from the Elgin Toll to 31, Bartlett to Meacham and Bussey to Lee. Veterans Memorial heavy from the Boughton Toll to the Reagan Tollway, the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Partly sunny ahead for the day. Winds will subside, high 74. Currently 70. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Heard Saturdays at noon right here on AM 560 The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. What Dennis Prager's talking about, and we're talking about, and everybody's talking about, is this undercover video that James O'Keefe over at Project Veritas did, where he's got Bob Creamer. He is the convicted felon husband of Illinois Congressman Jan Schakowsky, Calamity Jan, and Scott Foval, who's the national field director for Americans United for Change. Formerly was Foval associated with People for the American Way, hard left organization. And these two are talking bragging about what they're doing to bird dog Trump supporters, to try and incite violence at Trump rallies, to present that to the D.C. press corps for broadcast to advance the narrative and the caricature of Trump supporters as as violent individuals, when it is these people that are being paid in coordination with the DNC and in coordination with the Hillary campaign, as they discuss, to do precisely that. Scott Foval explaining how it works.
There's a script.
Oh, there is a script.
There's a script.
Okay.
There's a script of engagement. Sometimes the crazies bite, and sometimes the crazies don't bite. They're starting confrontations in the line, right? They're not starting confrontations in the rally, because once they're inside the rally, they're under Secret Service's control. When they're outside the rally,
they're more effective out. They're harder to get in.
The media will cover it, no matter where it happens.
I assume it's always in the rally.
Initiating the conflict by having leading conversations with people who are naturally psychotic.
Right.
There you go. The crazies, the naturally psychotic. We are now joined by the man of the hour. He's James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. James, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's so great to be with you today.
So, your undercover video is certainly the talk of the town in terms of documenting what many of us understood to be true, that there's a concerted effort to try and foment violence at Trump events by the left to present it to the media. You heard Scott Foval saying precisely that. And I wonder if you could also recall some of the specific examples they gave where they've been successful.
Well, they were talking about specifically Chicago, that protest in Chicago where the police officer got bloodied up. They were talking about that one. So as it relates to Chicago, they took credit for those protests in Chicago where Trump had to cancel. They said that was their guy. They took credit for North Carolina, Shirley Peter, 69-year-old woman. They took credit for that one. They've taken credit for blocking the highway in Arizona and some protests around the country. So they basically said that was our guy. We want to create anarchy, and the Hillary Clinton campaign pays the DNC. The DNC pays Democracy Partners. Democracy Partners pays this guy named Scott Foval, who just last night was terminated from his job.
Oh, really?
What we've exposed.
Oh.
And, yes.
So have any of
Maybe
these...
he and Billy Bush can start a firm.
Yeah, that's right. Have any of these Democratic plants, these people that work for this organization and for Bob, have they been arrested? I mean, if they incited that violence in Chicago where the police officer was bloodied up, I mean, that's a crime.
Yeah, you'd think so. But the problem is the media is so corrupt and complacent, of the mainstream media, that without pressure from the media on our prosecuting task force, whether it be the FBI or state attorney general, they're not going to do anything because but the media. I hate to bring the media up here, but the media is so deeply, deeply corrupt and indicted in this expose. The media was in on it. In the video, undercover video, which is now, by the way, trending worldwide except for the United States. This country is we're becoming a banana republic, guys. This is unbelievable. How not a word on any mainstream media, and the social sites like Twitter and YouTube are trying to yank it down. But anyways, this video shows Democracy Partners saying how they want to create anarchy, how they want to break the law, how they illegally coordinate between super PACs and nonprofits, and how the instructions go from Hillary down to the chain of command. Now, people think, well, you're going to have to get a video of Hillary Clinton doing it. No. Hillary Clinton delegates it to her lieutenants, who brief her and keep her up to speed, but keep a healthy distance for plausible deniability. They actually use the words plausible deniability in the video. They also use the words, illegal. They say we got to win this mother effer at all costs. and they say we got to get this expletive started right away. So it's just graphic, uncensored, and disturbing material.
Well, and the thing about it too, with Bob Creamer, convicted felon, bank fraud, check kiting, if this was somebody on the right that was some kind of operative and had that kind of colorful background, I mean, he would be that person would be national news. And there would be there would be unbelievable focus on it. And in addition to that, too, we find, I mean, this is just kind of more evidence. It's almost selling past the close here, but I guess it's still relevant. Center for Public Integrity analysis of donations by members of the D.C. Press Corps, effectively. 430 people work in journalism have donated about $382,000 to Hillary Clinton. 50 people who work in journalists have combined to donate about $14,000 to Trump, which is, consistent with the distribution of their votes. About 95% vote for Hillary Clinton, about 95% donate money to Hillary Clinton. And that's why your story and this story gets ignored.
Yeah, I wouldn't lose hope yet. The story is, I mean, it's become a phenomenon. There's no other word to describe it on the internet. It's trending on Twitter. It's worldwide trending on YouTube. It's there's literally 10,000 people retweeting my tweets. I've never seen anything like it. I consider there's a sort of citizenry out there in this country who are angry, who are so upset that they're actually flooding the inboxes of Anderson Cooper and Chris Cuomo and Jake Tapper right now. Why aren't you covering? The guy lost his job. He's been fired. Report on the fact that the DNC had to fire a guy for inducing violence. You don't even have to play the video. Just report facts.
Mm-hmm.
They're firing operatives for violence.
What about Bob Creamer? I mean,
point.
his wife is Jan Schakowsky. She's one of our local congresswomen here. Do you think she knew what her husband was doing at work every day? Because it'd be hard not to. And was that, as a convicted felon, was that his only job?
I'd love to be a fly on that wall, man, let me tell you. If it was legal for me to do my work in the city of Chicago, which it is not, Illinois has a two-party consent state to record, meaning I cannot do my undercover work in the state of Illinois. And then they will come after me. They'll prosecute me for filming people.
Yeah,
they won't prosecute him for doing much worse things than filming people. But listen.
Ask David Daleiden about that.
This is all the way to the White House. We have more tape coming out on Bob Creamer today and many other characters.
Oh, really?
Oh, tell us.
And, yes. Well, I can't scoop myself.
Well, come on, give us a tease.
When does that post?
I'd say about less than 3 hours.
Great.
Oh, good. So we can use it for the med bench.
And we have video where we further corroborate who these individuals are who go out and do the dirty tricks, do the illegal behavior. And I believe this will get mentioned in the debates tomorrow. I believe that this will the dam of the mainstream media is cracking, and I think that the floodgates will open and we'll get some little mainstream media coverage because this is solid journalism. This took us a year to do. 8 undercover full-time investigative reporters building relationships with people, and I think this will get some real play.
Have you been contacted by any quote-unquote mainstream journalists or law enforcement agencies?
No, it's actually uncanny. What happened was I had TV exclusives lined up around the country with various TV stations, some affiliates, and some cable news, and they spiked the story at the last minute. My suspicion is, and sources have told me, the reason they did so was fear of retaliation and retribution from the future Clinton administration Justice Department. These are publicly traded media corporations. They are not going to do real journalism against Hillary Clinton at this stage. They are scared, and that is, and your audience needs to understand just what I just said, because what does that mean for our country? We can't actually be adversarial as watchdogs to our government anymore out of fear of retribution from our attorney, which is illegal. They can't just investigate people for political reasons. But that's where we are in our country right now. And the only people left to do anything about it are the citizenry. There isn't even the main media institutions can't even do it anymore. So we're it, folks. That's it. There's nowhere else to go. It's you and it's me. And that's what this story is really about.
And Twitter, I mean, I can't believe they yanked your account down. And how long did that last, and how did you get it back?
It was down for 12 hours. 12 hours expired, and Twitter sent a message saying, we're not going to let you back until you delete harassing tweets. There's nothing harassing about my tweets. I'm reporting facts. I'm releasing videotape. I'm quoting people in the videotape. The videotape I released last week was Hillary Clinton officials saying they cannot get fired for sexual harassment. That was a direct quote. So they flagged finally after a barrage of 30,000 tweets to Jack Dorsey, the CEO. They said we need to reinstate O'Keefe. So the programmers at Twitter decided to come up with a straw man and say, well, why don't you delete this one? And I deleted that one tweet and let me back on.
Oh, sounds like government-controlled media.
So just in terms of the progression of how many more installments of videos on this topic or others we can anticipate, you said another one on Creamer in particular is coming in later today. How many more installments?
Many more installments. This video broke social media records. We've got hundreds of thousands of tweets. I mean, I keep emphasizing social media because it is unlike anything I have ever seen. I mean, I'm getting 10,000 retweets. The people of this country are so angry, and they have nowhere to go. They can't watch TV. They can't read the papers. So I think you're going to see this video come out today. I think you're going to see heads roll. I think it's going to be mentioned in the debates tomorrow, and I think the mainstream media will be dragged kicking and screaming on covering it. And
you're continuing to release the investigative work you've done through the election?
Yes, we're going to be trying to release videos every day. I don't think we'll be able to do that because my team is about ready to drop like zombies here. But we're going to try to release a video almost every day up until the presidential election.
All right. He is James O'Keefe, the founder of Project Veritas, talking about the video and more to come. James, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcast of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Partly sunny skies. It's going to be windy out there, gusts up to 25 miles per hour, but it'll gradually subside throughout the day, a high of 74 degrees. Tonight, a low of 50, and for tomorrow, not bad. We're going to have mostly sunny skies, highs in the upper 60s. Let's get those travel times. Very busy man this morning. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy, your inbound Kennedy's improving slowly. 59 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 35. The Eden's 26 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 32. The Ike, an hour and 27 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. An hour 5 from Manheim, outbound an hour 9 to Thorndale. The extension's very heavy. Stevenson, an hour and 13 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 42 minutes. Bryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, still pretty slow. Southwest Highway to 31st, Roosevelt to North Avenue. That's traffic, AM 560, The Answer.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance, but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
Peter forgot to order supplies for the office, and the boss is not happy.
Peter, we're out of toilet paper.
I'm sorry, boss. I'll order supplies right now. They should be here by next week.
Next week?
Peter really needs to call Combined Sales. Combined Sales has the products and solutions your business can't live without. From paper to pens, packaging, janitorial and safety supplies, and food service, Combined Sales to the rescue. They're local and can get you the supplies needed to keep your business running smoothly, fast, and at a great price. Plus, you'll deal with real people, not just another faceless internet site. You'll have an outside rep, an inside rep, and a customer service rep. Right now, Combined Sales has a presidential offer for new customers. This is huge! Open a business account today, order $500 in supplies, and you'll earn 5% in Co-op reward dollars on all purchases for the next 3 months. Plus, receive a bonus $50 Co-op reward. Request an account set up today at CombinedSales.com. CombinedSales.com.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth. I had a failed root canal, and it was causing me pain. Dr. Neruzzi took care of my tooth, and I got my implant, and then I had another after that fail, and he did that one as well. And the experience was, they were amazing. It was not painful at all like I thought it was going to be, and I was very, very, very nervous about the whole thing. Nobody enjoys getting, implants or dental work, and I procrastinated, but I had to have it done. And he took me in immediately and took care of it. And he made it really affordable. They're very accommodating to people that cannot afford to have it done. I would recommend Dr. Neruzzi to anybody, and I have given him referrals. My own sister had hers done by him.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants. Go to implantsforme.com.
For missing teeth, dental implants are wonderful. The advantages are fantastic. Just remember, implantsforme.com. Implantsforme.com.
A couple years ago, I had a severe accident which disabled my right hand and caused chronic pain. I did not want to deal with the side effects of pain meds. There is absolutely no reason to suffer. There are ways to find a solution and get off the drugs. I definitely believe Dr. Candido found that for me, and immediately, he sat down with me, really wanted